seem cautious or hesitant to express yourself. You end up shutting yourself down. Subway! Houses!
Hello, hello.
Welcome to Hot on the Presses.
Where we are hot.
And on the presses.
It is another week.
Yeah, it is. If you're thinking to yourself, gee, myself, this new episode of my favorite podcast, Hot on the Presses, seems a little early.
Yeah.
That's because it is.
Yeah.
We took a week off last 2 weeks ago
Yeah.
because of our school break.
Yeah.
So last week's episode was a week behind.
Yeah.
So we decided fairly last minute, because we originally said we weren't going to do it.
Yeah.
We decided fairly last minute, hey, next week, the week of the 15th, is a big release week. We've got Mondo shit coming out that day. I think Father John Misty is releasing, and Jack White is releasing.
Yeah.
Not sure if we're going to do it, but Sid of Odd Future is releasing.
Yep. That's Daniel Rosen.
Daniel
too.
Rosen of Grizzly Bear is dropping. Just a whole bunch of shit coming out next week. And we were like trying to balance whether we should do an episode that has 3 weeks worth of albums on it, or if we should just like real quick sneak
up,
one in there.
Yeah.
So this is the last, this episode is the last 2 weeks. But our next episode will not be for another 2 weeks.
Yes.
We're back on schedule after this one.
If this is confusing you don't have to worry about it. We'll figure it all out.
Yeah.
You're in our hands.
Yes. Trust us.
Yeah.
Trust us, sweet little children.
I think we've earned your trust at this point.
We are your favorite podcast.
Oh,
after
totally.
all.
Yeah. You don't listen to any other podcasts.
Exactly. Why would you?
We are your only voice of music opinion.
Hey, Megan.
Yeah.
What's new to you this week?
Oh, goodness gracious. Okay. So I've been listening to jazz recently.
Let's go.
Give
Give it up for jazz.
Give it up for fucking jazz, dog. Okay.
The benefits of an audio medium.
Yeah.
You can clap at your listeners.
Yes, you can. So recently I've been listening to a good amount of jazz. Because we have one jazz album this week, and I went back and revisited an album from that same act a little earlier, just to kind of prep myself for it. And so from there, I was listening with some friends on my top secret music Discord server.
So secret.
So secret. And we listened to one Japanese, like, very obscure record that I didn't know existed that my friend Sean found, called Time by the Go-Go Machine Orchestra.
That is a killer band name.
Yeah, and it was so cool. It has like marimba on it.
You know I love a little marimba.
Yeah, it reminds me of, if anybody is familiar, the Made in Abyss OST.
Oh, okay.
Like very atmospheric, spacey, like weird percussion choices. I don't know if
Such
there's...
as marimba.
Yeah, I don't know if there's like a single actual drum kit on the album. It's just really funky stuff. It's very good though.
That sounds very cool.
Yeah.
I'll have to give that one a listen.
Yeah, so I was listening to that while I was doing homework and vibing, etc. And it was a good little soundtrack for my week. How about you? What's new to you?
So what's new to me is an album that is new to the world.
Oh.
Additionally, I have loved way more than I anticipated the new record from Oso Oso.
Oh yeah.
It is called Oso Oso.
Oso Oso.
Thank you. You do it way better than I can.
Oso Oso.
She's trying.
I'm trying.
It is called Sore Thumb. There was a track that we were going to talk about called Pensacola that got released before the album that we did not end up talking about. But I actually came to really love that song in the context of the album. This record is sort of a dedication to their guitarist, their former guitarist Tavish, who passed away in, I believe, a car accident last year. So this was recorded with just the singer and Tavish together. It is, you might expect something like that to end up somber, especially given it's an emo album. And you know how those tend to
go.
But it is a surprisingly like hooky and joyful time. It's just a super nice, catchy record. Goes a little harder than their last one. And yeah, I highly recommend that. It's become one of my favorites this year. I've been spinning it a lot.
Maybe I'll give it a look.
Yeah.
Yeah. We were also taking a look before we started recording at a relic of both of our pasts, which is the postmodern fucking jukebox, which I said I haven't had that name spoken to me since I was in high school, and all the band kids would be like, there's this super cool cover band you would probably like. They cover like really cool, obscure songs.
Megan was talking about Cage the Elephant's Ain't No Rest for the Wicked, classic banger for the ages, and that there was like some cover.
Yeah, I swear I heard a cover of it recently, and I could not place my finger on who it was.
Irrelevant now, because we Googled Cage the Elephant Ain't No Rest for the Wicked cover, and it came upon the postmodern jukebox. I would really love all of you to know that according to several sketchy websites on Google, the lead guy of postmodern jukebox, Scott, whatever the fuck his name is, who cares, is worth $15 million. $15 million.
Oh my
God. The fuck? What the fuck? He has a French manor in Encino.
Yeah.
For posting swing covers.
Called the PMJ Manor.
For posting swing covers of Dua Lipa on YouTube.com.
And might I say, they're not even, they are very hit or miss.
They're a little high school band ass.
Yeah.
We gotta turn off the internet.
They're a little Glee clubby for me.
The internet is done. This whole shit is over. It's finished. We're beyond the point of no return.
Yeah.
Oh God, we were watching the one of Ain't No Rest. We watched a couple, including one of Where's My Mind by the Pixies. It's not bad. It was pretty good.
It's just so jarring.
Yeah, it's bizarre. But then there's the one of Ain't No Rest for the Wicked, where
that one's cursed.
There's this guy. The cover's not that good. And then there's this guy who comes in. He's the clarinetist, and he's like playing clarinet.
First of all, the clarinet is doing whatever the fuck it wants.
He is going wild on the track, just out of control.
He's getting paid to be there, and he's making the most of it. Really.
There's like a thing on the wall behind them, so they're in like this.
It's like a period themed room. It's like wood paneling on the wall, a grand piano, and then one glistening metal panel.
I don't know what it is. It looks like a fucking coat hanger, or something you would pull to make the sprinklers go off or something on the wall. The room looks like, if you like cover that with your finger, it looks like the ending room in an escape room where they like take your picture with the funny filters.
Yeah,
and the fucker on clarinet, after he's finished with his bit, he like disappears off screen, comes back with a landscape painting and hangs it up to cover that thing on the wall.
Completely crooked at like a solid 45-degree angle.
It's like ruining the illusion of the room being old-timey.
But he does not choose to do this at a reasonable time in the recording. No. He does it at like 3/4 of the way in.
I wonder if they were on like take 9 and nobody wanted to play the fucking song again. And like halfway through take 9, the guy behind the camera is like pointing at the clarinet guy and pointing at the painting off the screen.
Just
like
frantic.
Please put that up.
Yeah.
It's not supposed to be in the shot. Oh my God.
Oh, they kind of fucked themselves over, because if they had just left it, it's very small. They could have just edited it out in post.
I would not have noticed it.
Yeah, they very easily could have just textured over it in post, but they didn't. They chose to put a painting over it. Oh my God.
The choices. $15 million.
Yeah.
This is a $15 million video.
Oh my God. What a special venture postmodern jukebox
Christ.
is. I wonder if people still, like, people who from high school recommended them to me still listen to them. I wonder if people have like grown up with postmodern jukebox.
They only upload like monthly now. They used to upload way more.
Yeah.
Their most recent one was like an Olivia Rodrigo song.
You know what from my childhood has not slowed down?
What?
Monster Cat.
Yeah, Monster Cat. I will say I don't listen to a ton of their material anymore, but
they're a solid label.
Yeah, I respect them a lot as a label. Their artists have a ton of control over their stuff. The only thing I wish artists had control of was their cover art, because I hate having all the fun. I only have
God,
a
I
couple
know.
songs from Monster Cat still in my library, but
The
like
stupid little illustrations.
the little come on,
Yeah.
come on,
They're cheesy.
yeah.
But yeah, I looked at their channel recently and I was like, wow, you're still putting out bangers like tri-weekly.
Yeah.
Like it's still going.
Yeah, I mean if you're an artist in that vein, getting put on Monster Cat is like
huge.
that's eyes.
Yeah.
That is eyes.
Yeah, I mean, that was like my gateway to EDM and even to like getting into music in general. Because when I got into EDM, that was when I started paying attention to like, oh, what BPM are each of the genres and things like that. So that was kind of my gateway to start caring about the deeper aspect of music. So I really have a lot of love for Monster Cat and EDM in general.
Shout out pegboard nerds.
Ooh, yeah. Shout out Tristam.
Tristam too. Wow, yeah, that's a pull. I love that guy.
I love him. His song Flight used to be like my favorite with Breakin'.
I think the song I'm thinking of is...
I also love Faint, good drum and bass artist.
Oh, I don't have it in my library anymore. Draper is the other guy.
Ooh,
I was
yeah,
thinking
yeah.
of. Yeah.
Some of those went like really actually hard. Like
Yeah.
that was also a good gateway to noise in some ways.
I will also shout out Nitro Fun.
Oh yeah.
Who, like, that stuff, like that, what he does, or what he did in, like, I don't know what he's doing now. I haven't paid attention in a really long time. But what he was doing in, like, 2014 to 2016, I don't think the conceits of it have aged very well. Like, the song I'm thinking of is the one with all, like, the Mario sound effects and stuff.
Get a little closer.
Oh, sorry. The one I'm thinking of is, like, the one with all the Mario sound effects and stuff, which, like, yeah, that's going to come across a little corny these days, but, like, his melodies and everything are still very solid.
Yeah.
He's still, I don't know. Yeah, that man has something.
Hyper Potions also did a great job.
Oh,
with that.
fuck yeah, Hyper Potions. Infected Mushroom also.
Yes, yeah. Man.
This is a, did you listen to Shirk?
No, I didn't.
Oh, that was the guy who did Markiplier's outro music.
Whoa, I
circa
was never a
2014.
Markiplier kid.
I was, tragically. Shirk did a ton of stuff for Markiplier. He didn't do a ton of stuff. He did one song that Markiplier then used.
Yeah.
But I got into him from there, and that was all his stuff. And Shirk, all his dubstep stuff from that era, like, still holds up, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And now he's gay, and
There
he
you go.
does this band called Commanavigo, that I discovered independently of this, and then later found out it was Shirk, and, like, freaked my whole shit.
Yeah.
I got to get you on Commanavigo one of these days, because their album goes so hard from a couple years ago. That shit is so good.
I learned about EDM from the Minecraft YouTuber LD Shadow Lady.
Let's go.
Who had... I found her not through Minecraft, but through her old Call of Duty gameplay with her friends. She has one singular playlist on her channel that has like 8 videos, and it's just called Gaming Banter. And I still watch those. They're hilarious. But she would use old like drum and bass songs to open. And the one that got me into Monster Cat was Snake Eyes by Faint.
Okay.
And I can hear that song in my head as I'm saying it. And I was like, whoa, this is good.
This shit goes hard.
Yeah, from then I got into them. And then I heard Lone Song by Faint. And that was like, the deal was done. From then I only listened to EDM for the next 3 years of my life.
Nice.
But yeah, to this day, I think that one of the best EDM releases of like the last decade is on Monster Cat. Yeah. Which was the Mirai Sekai EP. By Varian and 7 Minutes Dead.
I do not know that one.
It's so good. It's like a concept EP it's only like 17 minutes long, I think. And it's meant to be kind of listened to as a piece. But it's just really good. It's got a lot of atmosphere. The production's great. It's like sci-fi-y. It's very, very cool. Super underrated. I went back and looked at the video and it only has like 1 million views after like 5 years. Damn. I was like, wow, you bitches don't know good EDM when you hear it, okay?
Yeah, I was never a huge EDM head because I was busy listening to Fall Out Boy around that time.
Oh yeah.
And still. But I would say Shirk would be my biggest, like, if you are looking for, like, I don't know why you would be, but if you're looking for stuff of that era that has aged very, very well, Shirk's Cosmic Casino EP is really good. And also his The Prophecy EP is really good. Yeah,
so there's your EDM recommendation from Sophie. Yeah. And from me, Varian and 7 Minutes Dead, Mirai Sekai EP. Great EP. Just super, super atmospheric, very, very lovely sound.
I'm just imagining Mount Kimby. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm just imagining Mount Kimby.
Not incredibly far off.
Okay.
And as far as honestly, really, that might be where my love of cold production comes from, because it is a pretty like, I mean, the whole it's supposed to be about like a technological dystopia.
Whoa.
So it is cold. Like that's the vibe.
I love technological dystopias. Shout out technological dystopias.
Shout out.
Let's go.
So yeah, that sort of might be, I love tracing back my musical roots like this, because it really is revealing. But yeah, that probably is where my love of that production style comes from. Because even now, sometimes I'll prefer stuff like say even in like one artist discography, like Porter Robinson. Some days I want to listen to Worlds more than I want to listen to Nurture, because Worlds is like that colder style, like Fresh Static Snow. That's a
Fresh Static Snow goes hard.
That's a kind of a brutal song,
so
and I want to hear the.
That's the one with Lemaitre on it, right?
I don't know. That one's instrumental.
A Polygon Dust is the one with Lemaitre in it.
But yeah, Fresh Static Snow goes hard. And then some days I'm like, oh, I want the warm, happy, beautiful lushness of Nurture. But like most of the time when I'm going to electronic, I want the brutality.
Yeah. Shout out to Porter Robinson's Nurture though.
Great album.
That was my favorite album last year. That's so good.
That is, I'm opening my next broadcast tomorrow with a Porter Robinson track off of Nurture.
Which one?
I don't know. You have to be there.
I will have to be there. That's true. No spoilers on the podcast. Well, it'll already have happened by the time this comes out.
Yeah. Cover your ears. I'll tell them. No, I won't. I changed it. I don't know if you do this, but I changed it recently. Sometimes I'll like listen through my playlists like 3 times before I
don't
play.
Do that.
Just because I like having them for the future anyway. I just want them to be solid playlists.
I load them up and I fire them off. I'm like fucking that image of Bugs Bunny where he looks like dead inside and then he pulls out a gun. That's me with my playlists.
For me, I like having them all ready. I preload them into Creek before I get in.
I don't have time for that.
I'll put them in and I'll pre-save them so that then they're in the drafts and I can just click them in as I'm going, so that then I can just be focused on vibing and talking to my friends.
Here's the thing is I am too ADHD to like have everything preloaded and all set.
Yeah.
And I need something to occupy my hands while I'm in the booth, because I will like go ape shit if I am not like actively doing something.
Just pounding on the windows.
Yeah, literally. Like I will be like, or like I'll be tempted to open up Pokemon Showdown or something, and then I will fail to do my radio show. So yeah, looking for like the label information and stuff for Creek during the broadcast is like, that's what I'm doing.
Yeah. I
wish everyone could have seen my typing motion that I just did.
Yeah, that was elegant.
It's really good.
My like secret tech is I have this one song on Apple Music that is 8 minutes of silence. And in my playlist, I will put that in where I want a talk break to happen.
Yeah.
So even if I forget to start talking, I'll just hear a silence.
The parquet courts. Was it parquet courts? Sleepify? Was that?
No, that's not them.
Who was that?
I have no fucking clue.
It was Wolfpack.
Oh, okay.
The Wolfpack Sleepify thing.
Whoa, I haven't thought about Wolfpack in so long.
Another like postmodern jukebox era YouTube musician, but aged much better.
Yeah.
Sleepify was like this thing they did where they released an album that was like 5 minutes of silence.
Hell yeah.
Onto Spotify, and they said, put it on loop while you sleep. And that's how we're going to crowdfund our tour.
That's kind of awesome.
It worked.
Oh my God.
It worked. Spotify ended up getting like, they pulled it eventually.
Yeah.
But it did work, and they did successfully crowdfund a tour. They received royalties totaling almost $20,000 from just people leaving this silence on loop while they slept. It was so funny.
Dude, you know what I should do?
Yeah.
Instead of silence, I should just make it the brown note. So if I don't start talking soon enough, then I'll just shit myself. High stakes.
Everybody listening will shit themselves too.
It's high stakes listening.
Counterintuitive.
It's high stakes listening. It's bonding.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Sounds more like torture techniques. Can you imagine? That's like a fucking Incredibles villain would like hijack the airwaves to play the brown notes, so Mr. Incredible shits himself.
I'm like that Max Headroom guy that hacked into the radio station.
Someone's bare ass was out on that too. So.
Yeah. Just play the brown note with the hypnosis, like spiral in the background and a bare ass in front of you. I'm crying.
Richard Nixon is a whore. I'm so glad I have a co-host who will just drop a reference to the fucking Max Headroom Doctor Who broadcast interruption. You're insane. You're insane.
I'm evil and fucked up.
You're going to hell.
Oh my god.
Do you want to talk about some albums? This one in directions I wasn't anticipating.
Yeah. Oh my god. Before we start, I think I need to take a bathroom break.
What, are you going to shit yourself on air?
Yeah. I'm going to be crying and shitting myself.
All right. We'll see you all after
We'll see you in a minute. And we're back.
Welcome back.
It should be known that while I was gone, Sophie decided that it was a good time to start an episode of Pokemon Showdown. A game, which self-fulfilling prophecy of what we were just talking about.
I got my ass handed to me for the record.
For the record. I mean, dude was being cringe anyway.
Was being so cringe.
So cringe. Anything that we don't win and don't like is cringe. That's just the way.
That's just the way.
All right. So we're going to start out with a niche release that is also high profile if you're in the right places, which is Duster with Together.
I have never heard the really famous Duster album, Stratosphere.
Yep, which has a funny little cover of 3 colors, basically. And some bands.
But it's a photo. It's like a landscape photo.
It's a landscape.
Yeah, but it's like a really cloudy, like thunderstormy sky.
It is a good cover.
It's a neat cover. Yeah,
for the album, considering what it is. Which this album, this band, is one of the great popularizers of what is called slowcore.
I hate that genre name, by the way.
Slowcore?
I wrote a bullet point of that. Slowcore is a fucking stupid genre name.
It kind of is, yeah.
It makes me core. Like, you need to reserve core for like, it goes hard. It's like a loud, crunchy thing, in my opinion.
I mean, I guess just anything that falls into a certain thing. Genre's fake anyway.
Hardcore, breakcore, like post-hardcore. Core just makes me think of like this is gonna go hard.
I guess slowcore does kind of break the mold there.
No. Low does not go hard.
I mean, there is like digicore. That
goes hard.
Yeah, I mean it does in a different way though.
Yeah, in a different way.
I mean, I guess slowcore goes hard in its own way too.
I guess
goes hard for when you're really, really, really depressed.
This one went hard at making me feel like I was being tucked into bed, but then it like whispered something really grotesque and disgusting and like biologically horrifying in my ear.
There you go.
Yeah.
This is the first Duster that I've heard, which is in the spaces that I frequent is kind of heretical of me.
Oh, newbies.
Yeah, because we're both new to this. But Duster, I am of the opinion that this is a good one to start with.
This is very good.
As someone who hasn't listened to Duster.
I like this a lot, and I wasn't anticipating liking it a lot, and I did.
Same. Which, I mean, just because it is a pretty digestible slowcore album in the sense that there is actually things going on. And I listened with a seasoned Duster veteran, and shout out Weg, and he let me know that compared to Duster's normal stuff, their last album and this one, both the vocals are at the top of the mix, which is crazy.
Yeah, what?
Because normally the vocals are super buried and unintelligible and basically just become kind of ambient noise in the background. So the fact that there's actually legible lyrics on this is kind of huge.
Those lyrics are something.
Yeah,
too. I was
really
into them. They are very like they're grotesque. I used the word grotesque already, but like they can be a little like violent. And
I mean, like the song Teeth.
Yeah, that shit's gross. There's like multiple references to like spitting out teeth or like something growing in my tooth. I think.
Yeah.
Nasty shit.
It's weird because
I'll get the lyric.
This is a very I'll say like a transportative.
Yeah, for sure.
Album. I mean, there's songs like escalator. It's like you feel like you're in a liminal space. Like I feel like I'm in a liminal escalator.
Stuck in mud, kicking and clawing, stationary, situationary, since you sliced my ears in two, leave your teeth in between.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
That's gross.
Yeah. I mean, it's the kind of thing. These are very deceptive songs, is what I'll say. They do have like an undercurrent of like ominousness, which is super, super evident and really cool.
It is. You're right that it is deceptive, because I don't think I would have picked up on the ominousness if about like halfway through one song I was like, oh, what is he singing? Like I couldn't tell. And then he said something crazy. I was like, oh.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what we're doing here.
Yeah. And then once you know, it takes on a different tone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it even casts some of the songs that are not especially like spooky in a new light. Like there's the song Sleepyhead.
Yeah.
Which it's one of the only tracks on the record that actually is as sweet as it sounds.
Yeah.
It's like the gentle guitar riff on the back half of that song I loved. It's like
Yeah.
it literally sounds like I'm being like wrapped in blankets. It's so nice. But like lyrically it feels so out of place with the rest of the record.
It almost makes it feel sinister.
Yeah, like it makes me wonder, like am I missing something? Like is there something else at play here?
Yeah. It's for a slowcore album, it definitely keeps you on your toes.
Yeah.
Which is super unique and really cool. And I haven't listened to much of any slowcore. I'm like passingly familiar with Low.
Yeah, I've heard the last two Low albums. That's
I
about it.
haven't listened to them. I just know that they are slowcore, basically.
They're not my thing, but I liked a couple songs off each.
Yeah. And I know that some people that I'm close with also really enjoy Giles Corey, which is an offshoot of one of the guys from Have a Nice Life.
I had a fucking moment when you said Giles Corey.
More weight.
Yeah, that's the fucker from the Salem Witch Trials, but
Yep.
I know that name because I used to play so much Town of Salem in middle school. Just
Wow.
so much Town of Salem.
Speaking of middle school.
I was like 2,000 elo on that game.
Wow.
Before they changed, I've tried to go back and play it since, and it's like basically a completely different game. They've changed so much of like the way the game works.
Interesting.
But Giles Corey, if you don't put in a name for yourself at the beginning of the game, they spit you out like fucking
Some random
Salem
name.
Witch Trial names.
Yeah.
And one of them is Giles Corey. So that just put me in a place. I was like, hello?
Yeah. It's an offshoot band of one of the guys from Have a Nice Life. God, I don't know what his name is.
Shout
but
out Have a Nice Life. Why are you from Connecticut?
Death
Nothing's from
Consciousness,
Connecticut.
baby. Yeah. So there's that. And apparently that album, I think he only has one on that title, but that album is considered slowcore, but it's got that same kind of ominous vibe to it. So I think that might just be a staple of the genre that I have not been aware of is that aspect of it. Either that or I just know of two specific instances where that has happened.
Yeah.
Did you have any standout tracks?
I had a bunch. Something I really appreciated about this record is that the first couple songs have a very similar instrumental palette. Like they're pretty similar sounding. And then as the record goes on, it slowly broadens. Like they start
definitely.
putting more and more things in the mix. So
Yep.
it's like they grab you by your toe and they're slowly dragging you into the water.
Yeah.
Like it is a very neat way for the album to progress.
Yeah.
But I really did like the opener, New Directions. The bass sound, the guitar tones on this album are awesome.
Really cool.
It's such a neat sounding
Yeah.
record. I really, really also liked the drumming on this album. We'll talk about this later, but we did a jazz record for this project, for this episode called, the band is called Niechęć. And spoiler alert, I wasn't huge on it. And I listened to these two back to back.
Oh, okay.
And I couldn't help but compare like the drum patterns, like the drumming on these two records. And this is a slowcore album. There's not a lot of drumming going on. Like it's very slow drumming. But I found he was able to ring, whoever is the drummer was able to wring a lot of like emotional intensity out of
such sparse drumming.
Yeah, and like provide a strong skeleton to these very, very slow tracks, which can be like that's
skill.
That's not easy. Yeah.
No.
I also really loved Time Glitch.
Yeah.
Which is one of the most like abstract songs on the album. The song is really simple. It's a very, very simple tune that they filter through like all this feedback and a super whispery vocal performance. It's very spooky.
Very cool.
Escalator. was very neat. That one is very that one kicked it up a notch, which I wasn't anticipating.
That one's almost a noise song.
Yeah, it's a little like speed. It goes a little bit. Like it is more up tempo. This one had some really good lyrical imagery that I wrote down. There's a part where one line he just says insignificant hex.
Yeah.
Which is dope. And he said, "Were you born on the down like us mysterious freaks?"
Yeah.
I don't know what that means, but it sounds really cool.
That's like kind of the vibe of the album is I don't know what any of this means.
Yeah.
But it sounds a certain way.
You're
always getting a vibe.
That's also how I felt about Destroyer, but we'll talk about that later. I liked Familiar Fields.
Yep.
Which that's like if New Order was slowcore.
Yeah.
That was great. That was good. There was some really like buried saxophone on that one, I'm pretty sure. At least I thought so.
Yeah.
Which like that's the kind of thing this is. Like you can't even identify if that's a saxophone or not.
Yeah. It feels like wading through like a really foggy bog.
Yeah.
And like your toe hits something occasionally and you're like, that's weird.
Could be a saxophone. Could be a dead body.
Yeah, it could be anything. Those are all great tracks.
I also liked Making Room and Feel No Joy, which those like they put shoegaze songs on here.
Yeah.
That just went into shoegaze for a couple tracks.
Yeah,
cool. I'm
very
into
cool.
that.
I thought that I had a lot of the same ones as you. I thought that I liked Retrograde a lot, the second track. I also thought that the stretch from Time Glitch to Teeth to Escalator to Familiar Fields.
Yep.
Super strong.
Very, very good.
Strong passage.
Very good middle section.
That's tracks 4 to 7. And even then, like Moonroam, the little thing after that.
Yeah, it was nice.
Really nice cap out.
Yeah.
It feels like that's sort of the transition into some of the more shoegazy, like a little bit noisier tracks.
Yeah.
I also thought Sleepyhead, Making Room were both great. And I liked the closer. I liked Sad Boys.
I also liked Sad Boys. Sad Boys was like after Making Room and Feel No Joy, Sad Boys kind of brought it back to the sound from the beginning of the record, which I was into. I thought that was a cool way to end it off.
It's just a really well composed album.
It is. It's
super
very,
into it.
Very well structured. Making Room was like, I don't know. I'm split between either Making Room or Familiar Fields as my favorite track.
Yeah.
Making Room, like, it has this really cool sense of like a lot of the chords progressions like don't resolve.
Yeah.
Like they just kind of like stumble along and like pivot in directions you might not anticipate.
Yeah.
There's also a line that I wanted to point out that I really like. You're making room for animals, but I'm not sure where they went.
That feels like one of those sentences like more people have been to Berlin than me where it's just it means nothing.
It's shit you'd hear in a dream and then you'd remember it when you wake up and be like, wow, that was profound. And then 20 minutes later you're like, that didn't mean fucking anything.
Yeah. But it meant something.
It works.
I couldn't tell you what it means, but it meant something to me.
Yeah, it did.
Car seat headrest fans rise up. I didn't have any least favorite tracks on this.
I didn't have any least favorite tracks either, but there were just some that I wasn't like that didn't grab me, but nothing like bad on this album. I also think that this is one that I need more time with.
Definitely.
Because this is a sink into it record. And when I listened to this the first time, I had just woken up like less than 15 minutes beforehand. I was like, all right, got to get my listening in for the podcast. Click play on this one, not knowing what to expect. And that was the nicest wake up good morning I had in so long.
Yeah.
I think I was like predisposed to like it by that.
Yeah.
But I think as I spin this one more and more, I'm going to like find more corners of it that stick out to me as like, wow, that's really nice.
See, the great thing is that I had the actual literal opposite experience, which was I was listening to this at 1 a.m. Working on homework. I was sitting alone in my living room. Also. The lighting was dim. I was chatting with Weg. We were just vibing to the album. And I just was kind of for the first time able to really sink into it and not be super conscious of what was happening. I was just along for the ride.
Yeah.
And that is not something I'm normally able to do with albums. Normally I'm always thinking. I'm always like in one part of it.
Yeah.
But this was just such an interesting like smorgasbord of things.
Yeah.
That felt so cohesive, but also every song has its own identity. And it was really, really interesting.
You saying that made me remember when I was like taking notes for this, I kept having to go back because I would just get caught in it and listen to like 3 tracks. And then I would have to be like, wait, I didn't note that song. Yeah. Or like, where did they split? Like, where was the break in songs here?
Yeah. This is one that I think it like has to grow with you.
Yeah.
And I as I kind of wrote in my notes, slowcore is one of those things that you need to have click with you.
Yeah.
So that once it clicks, you understand what nuances you're looking for.
Yeah.
And you can kind of just vibe with it. But
this would be a really good like baby's first slowcore album.
Totally.
Yeah.
This is an awesome intro. I feel like this is a great place for both of us to start.
Yeah.
I like sometimes with genres like these, people will just give you your favorite or their favorite and not like the good starter album.
That's the thing is like you were saying, this will grow with you. I think at least it has not grown with me yet. It's pretty fresh.
Yeah.
But it has not. I have not like had the time to really sink into it yet.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like we're both gushing about it this much after just a few listens. Like it is more accessible than pretty much anything else I've like heard of in this lane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, even just talking about it's making me want to listen to it again.
Same.
And
yeah. I would
like,
listen to it right now.
I can hear his vocal tone in my head. Like it's a really distinct album.
It's very good. I liked it a lot.
So if you want to sink into something and really just bathe in an album,
if you want to feel
is a good one.
like a warm bath.
Yeah.
You've just stepped into a warm bath and there's like candles all around you.
Yeah.
And maybe there's somebody in your house.
Yeah. But
it's fine. You're in a nice bath.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Whatever. You'll figure it out when you get out of the bath.
Yeah. That's a problem for later.
Yeah. All right. And our next one is going to be Denzel Curry. Melt My Eyes, See Your Future.
This was very highly anticipated.
Yeah.
Highly anticipated for me.
So
all
we
three,
have covered one of the singles.
We did Zatoichi.
We did Zatoichi,
with Slow Tie. That song fucks.
That song
fucks hard. Denzel was 3 for 3 on the singles.
Yeah,
in my
Walkin'
opinion.
is a banger.
Walkin' is
banger
so
single
good.
as well.
Okay, we'll get to this in a second, but the way the intro track, Melt Session, goes into Walkin'.
Oh my god.
Oh my lord, that's
all
such
of
a
the
good
transitions
touch.
on this album are really, really good.
I have a point I want to make about that too, but I also want to quickly give a shout out to Troubles with T-Pain,
which
is so good.
Oh my god,
that song's so good.
When I listened to that song, I was like, Sophie's gonna like this one.
That song, like, when's the last time you heard T-Pain? When is the last time?
The last time that I've heard him was on a Twitch game show, and then
he is on Twitch,
and then he's on this.
He do be
and
on
I was
Twitch.
like, whoa, he still makes music. He's not just on Twitch.
Yeah, like hearing like T-Pain gets clowned. He does, like, because
he's so fresh.
That's the thing. He popularized autotune, and then a bunch of people like used autotune badly, and now it's like, oh, fucking T-Pain. It was all his fault.
Mm-hmm.
T-Pain was on top of rap for like a solid chunk of the 2000s. Like he was the guy, and his feature on this is like, oh yeah, that's why.
He is that guy on this song.
He's got so much personality on this song. He's like bouncing off the walls. He's so fun. Get off my dick. It's so good. It's so good.
And that because life's a bitch. That was stuck in my head for like a day.
It's a really, really good track.
Really good track.
But yeah, what you were saying about the sequencing and flow of this album, that is my biggest compliment to this record, because I do have a little salt regarding this album.
Okay.
But that is my biggest compliment to this record. The film theme that was on like all the music videos and promo for this record, there's a lot of artists who do like film theme like stuff. I think Father John Misty's new album next week is also film themed. Denzel nailed it
for sure.
This album is like,
it's cinematic.
It's so cinematic. Like the sequencing is so well thought out.
Yeah.
It really has its emotional like peaks and valleys of like that a movie would have.
Yeah.
It's a really well done like loose. This was a really good week for flawed albums that do their loose concept really well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like albums that I can look at and I can point out to you what I don't like about it, but the things that I do like about it are so engaging that I'm like, I'll still come back to this.
Yeah. Also, while we're kissing this record's ass, the beats are really solid.
Oh my god, the production too.
Even some of the tracks that I don't really care for have like great
really
instrumentals.
Beats,
yeah. There's just a lot of character and personality. Denzel's really good at beat selection in general.
Sure, yeah.
Like Zoo has like fucking amazing beats. The beat on Birds from Zoo is like one of my favorite rap beats of all time. That beat is disgusting.
This is actually my first Denzel album.
It is my third.
Yeah.
Fourth if you count Unlocked, which I don't really.
Yeah.
But I was introduced to him with Taboo.
Yeah. I this is the first that I've heard of his, and I was very pleasantly surprised. It's been a minute since a rap album has like really immediately hit me. And I was just I was vibing with it immediately.
It has such an impact. Like
this one is a very immediate album,
yeah.
And I gotta say it was immediate in the moment, and I really liked it. And then I went back and listened to it a few times, and every time I did, it hit me even more.
Yeah.
Like the tracks that I liked, I love
They have,
now.
same. They have only gotten stronger.
Yeah.
Like Melt Session is fucking
So
amazing. Glasper is a perfect choice
Yeah.
for Denzel. I hope those two work together again because I was hoping he would pop up again, like more of the album, because a lot of the album is like jazzy piano influence. Like a lot of the beats have that. And I was hoping he would pop up again, but he didn't.
Yeah.
But to start off the album, wow, what a go for the gut right away.
My favorites were Melt Session #1.
So fucking good.
So fucking good.
That song's amazing. That's one of Denzel's best songs ever, I think.
Walkin'.
Yeah, classic.
Zatoichi.
Yep.
Angels.
I didn't like Angels.
I
but
loved Angels. Troubles.
And
Ain't No Way. Rico ate on that song.
Okay. I didn't realize how much I've missed Rico until I heard her. She hasn't released anything since June or so last year. There was that kind of bad song with Flo Milli, who I also like, but I heard her voice. I was like, oh my God, I have missed you so much.
Every time I see her on a feature, I get excited.
She's so fucking good.
I first learned about her through the Ringtone remix by 100 Gex.
Oh, wow.
Where she was on there with KKB.
I was on her back in the Sugar Trap era, like fucking forever ago. And then to this day, I've still never heard like her real first album, the one with Rage on it. I just know the singles. I just never went back and listened to it. And then it's not perfect, Nightmare Vacation, but the songs on Nightmare Vacation that I like are some of my favorite rap songs of the last 5 years.
She's just such an engaging personality.
She has so much personality.
Oh my God, yeah. Her delivery is just one of a kind.
So good.
Yeah.
And she can ride anything too. She's like Denzel in that she can go on any beat and kill it.
Yeah.
She doesn't have
So she did an awesome job on that one.
Yep. I wish that song had more Jid because I love Jid.
I'm really happy it didn't have that much Jid on it.
Really? Didn't like him?
I don't like him in general.
Are you what?
Yeah.
Huh. That surprises me.
I just don't like his delivery very much.
That surprises me a lot. He's got the most intricate flow of any really popular rapper right now.
I don't know. I just don't really like his voice.
I love him. Do you like Kendrick?
Yeah.
They have the same voice. They sound the same.
I don't think that they do. There's something about Jid that bothers me. Like he was on the new James Blake as well.
Mm-hmm.
And he's part of the reason why I don't like that song.
I didn't know he was on the new James Blake.
Yeah, he's
That's
on
funny.
the song Frozen with another rapper. And that one kind of is weak to me because of him. And he was on another, what song was he on? He was on a song on another album that we reviewed recently. And I was just praying that he didn't ruin the song he was on. And I was really stoked that he didn't.
He was probably on, I can't remember what he was on.
Yeah.
That's
I just
weird
remember listening to it and being like, please don't fuck this up. Please don't fuck
That's
this
weird
up.
that I don't remember that because I'm always looking out for a Jid feature because I love him.
But I'm not huge on him. So I was stoked to not hear a whole lot of him.
You should check out his recent singles that he did he's got a project coming. I don't know when, but he did a couple recent singles that are super solid. I actually mentioned that because I was thinking about the Walk-In and the newest Jid song use the same trick of a really strong beat switch halfway through, but they keep the sample and it's just a different beat off the same sample.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope that becomes a thing because it fucking rules. I love that. Beat switches in songs are often cool, but can sometimes make the song feel disjointed, like it's two songs. If you keep the sample between them, fuck yeah, that's just you've upped the tension a notch.
Yeah.
And I hope that becomes more of a thing with rappers like Denzel and Jid because it rules.
So you had your beefs with this one. What were your least favorite songs? I want to see if they're the same.
Before that, I also want to give a shout out to the Ills.
That's a good track,
maybe my favorite beat on the record.
Yeah.
Super jazzy and hard hitting.
Yeah.
The record scratching. I wish Zell would use record scratching more because he's got that sort of old school, like charisma about him that I think would fit really well with scratching more. So my least favorite tracks were Mental, which
I liked that one.
I thought that one was a mess. The beat is some lo-fi hip-hop beats ass shit from YouTube. He starts on this line of comparing rap to black art of the past, and he's saying that if this were the 40s, he would be scatting instead. He would be scatting. The line he says is, if this were the 40s, I would have been gassing, scatting. he turns it into a poop bar. Why did he do that?
Why
did he do that?
bars?
This is Denzel. This is supposed to be your introspection album.
Yeah.
You cannot just go throwing poop bars on this and ruin a lyrical conceit that I was liking. I was with you.
Yeah.
And then you turn it into a poop bar. Why?
No, hashtag no poop bars. Hot on the Presses is expressly against poop bars.
We have a firm stand on poop bars. There's also one there. This song has so many stupid lines. He has a line where he says, like, as in he doesn't slip. He is slipless in Seattle. It's so dumb.
I think that the reason that track still in my mind stands out is solely because the female vocalist.
Yeah, she's pretty good.
She's nice.
She is pretty
good. She breaks up the album nicely, I think, in that track.
John Wayne didn't really land for me.
That one makes me really sad because did you know it was produced by Jake Mafia?
I did, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, this does not hit as a Peggy.
Yeah, it
beat.
kind of. The beat kind of sounds like a Heroes or Cornballs Leftover. Like, it definitely sounds like, to me, it sounds like a beat he had and gave to Denzel.
See, the thing is I listened to this, and then I listened to Veteran again, and then I listened to this again, and I was like, oh, now I want a Veteran beat on this.
Yeah. That song, like, Peggy's fingerprints are all over it. Like, that, Buzzy Lee has been on his songs before. She's on Cornballs somewhere.
Yeah.
I forget what song. But it really is, her voice is like a very familiar, like, oh, this is a Peggy beat.
Yeah.
I messaged you last night. I Googled it. I confirmed. He does sample the Discord ping at the end of that song.
Yeah.
He plays like a Discord ping. I look at Discord every time.
Which is funny.
It's so funny. Yeah.
He knows his audience.
He does. It doesn't really land for me. It is interesting.
Yeah, I didn't love that one.
But,
I also thought that the delivery was kind of annoying.
Yeah, Denzel, like
I'm John Wayne.
I feel like he didn't really know what to do with this kind of beat. He's not as like
swaggery.
Like willing to do like Denzel's a great technical rapper, but Peggy does very specific things. Peggy's best quality as a rapper, in my opinion, is his ability to lock himself into a really weird beat and make himself the thing you're paying attention to.
Yeah.
Like, the beat under Peggy can be whatever. Like, can be some like fucking like cartoon jackhammer sound effect.
Yeah.
And he will make you pay attention to him instead of the beat. And I think Zell gets a little buried in this one.
Definitely.
Also, I'll point out, Buzzy Lee is Steven Spielberg's daughter. And I don't know how I feel about that.
I didn't know that
just
at all.
in general.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, I don't know about that one. And then my absolute least favorite track on this was Last Day.
Okay, yeah, I didn't love that one either.
I kind of liked the camera shutter sound effects in the beat to go with like the social media theme of the song, but the hook is really annoying.
Yeah.
His singing is really bad.
Yeah.
And the message of the song is so muddled.
It's just
like
ham-fisted.
It's like some cancel culture bullshit that's
as soon as he talked about cancel culture, he said one tweet, like he was like, oh, you say one thing and you're canceled. I was like, oh, Sophie's gonna have a field day with this one.
He brings it up more than once on the album.
Which is a shame.
Which leads into my beefs with the record. But did you have any least favorite tracks?
Yeah, my standout least favorites were X-Wing and John Wayne.
X-Wing was fine. I liked the beat a lot.
X-Wing.
X-Wing.
I just thought that the beat felt the least inspired on the album. It just felt a little flat for me.
Yep.
And it was just, I thought that the production itself was also a little bit flatter. It was just a little more trappy and less jazzy to me. And I was a little not there for that.
Oh, that reminds me to shout out 454 on Sanjuro.
Oh, yeah.
I've never heard of him before, but he killed it.
Yeah, he did a very good job.
I really liked his feature on that song.
Yeah, Sanjuro did a good job, too.
Sanjuro could have slotted right onto Zoo, and it would have fit there perfect. It's like a perfect like Florida trap song. It's great.
That was a good song. That was the one that on the album, if I just wanted a trap song.
Oh, yeah, that's the one
it should definitely be that one, and I think that X-Wing could not be there, and I wouldn't miss it at all. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't think that the issue with this album is that the highs are so high and the lows, I don't even think any of the lows are like really offensively bad. They just have aspects of them that make them not great. And compared to like the absolutely just breakneck incredible singles.
Yeah.
It's really difficult to have those compare and you be okay with them being there.
I really wish Zatoichi hadn't been a single.
Zatoichi's so good.
I feel like I would have liked this album more
if you
it
didn't
had
have that expectation.
Yeah, if it had buried something like Zatoichi in there.
Yeah.
I would have had different expectations for what this album was going to be, because like Walkin' is closest to the direction the album goes in of the 3 singles, and the other 2 are like, I would say Troubles is one of the most like madcap, like off the wall songs on the whole project.
Yeah.
And then Zatoichi, there's nothing else on the album that sounds like Zatoichi.
Yeah. I wish there was.
But that's the thing. Like, I wish there was. Like, when you release Zatoichi as a single,
you kind of open yourself up.
Yeah, I am going to have some thoughts about what the record is going to be like before I come in.
Yeah.
And then it's like not quite as ambitious as I thought it was going to be. And that sort of leads into my biggest issue with the record is that while Denzel is a great rapper, like technically and flow wise and like delivery wise, he is on point. He raps very well. This album feels really fake deep to me.
Yeah. His lyrics, I don't think he has the lyrical chops to back up some of the stuff that he wanted to say.
Yeah. This is a kind of a consistent problem I have with Denzel.
Yeah.
And it's why Zoo is my favorite album of his, is because he doesn't try to have a crazy concept with it. Taboo is a great album also, but it is also like presenting itself as like very artsy and like it has this whole concept about like, oh, it gets darker as you go in, but it really doesn't. Like, it's just like it's the same the whole way through.
Yeah.
And it's like the track titles and everything, like it presents itself as much artsier than it actually is.
Yeah.
And this album is like, I was watching interviews with him and he was like, yeah, this is my introspection album. This is the one where I'm going to get really deep in myself. And he does make some like very personal and dark admissions.
Yeah.
At some points on this album, he like talks about being molested as a kid and like having like bad relationships with women and like not respecting women.
Yeah.
And like how much that's hurt him. But like he, on a lot of the other tracks, he is very like, making admissions on record does not equal having thoughts about those admissions. Like, it is one thing to share events in your past and like be that open on record, and I can respect that, but that does not automatically equal this is a thoughtful song that is putting forward an opinion about these things.
I think that this bears comparison lyrically if he's making those admissions and claiming that that's a deep album.
Are you going to bring up Conway?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
To
that's
like
exactly
to Stressed.
Where I was going.
Like he's making admissions like that, but Conway is actually doing something with it and making a concept out of it rather than just saying a statement.
Yep.
I think that that's the big difference is Denzel is placing these things as lines and making statements, but a better lyricist would take those and make it the concept of the song and build on it and then embed those in there.
Absolutely. I'm so glad you picked up where I was. That's actually exactly where I was going.
Yeah.
Is comparing it to Conway, because Conway just seems like
Savannah George's A Loud Place Part 2.
Again, they schedule the emergencies.
Yeah.
Conway is much more like emotionally in tune. Like it definitely feels like he is bearing his soul.
Definitely.
Denzel feels more like, oh, if I put this on the song, it will become deep. Smaller issue, but I will also say his attitude towards women on this album is very frustrating.
Yeah. It doesn't make it better if you acknowledge that your relationship with women are bad, if you're just kind of saying it like
Obviously, I know that rap has like a complicated and bad history with like sexism and misogyny and like abuse.
Yeah.
On Melt Session 1, he has a line, I'll get the lyric, where he's talking about like how he's disrespected women in the past and how that's like made him a worse person.
Yeah.
He says, dealt with thoughts of suicide, women I've objectified, couldn't see it through my eyes, so for that I apologize. I'm just hypnotized, working hard to empathize, strung out on love addiction and groupies when souls collide. That's a cool line.
Yeah.
I totally get that. Like I absolutely like that's a good
admission.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Like I wish there was more of that on the record.
Which is why that is one of the standout tracks.
But then the whole rest of the album he's talking about like bitches and fake hoes.
Yeah.
And like a thought with a ass.
Yeah.
Like Like some
Thought
guy,
with a
some
S.
guy is like some guy in his that he's like disdaining is like obsessed with a thought with an ass.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, man. Like not that I can forgive misogyny on a hip hop album if it's just like there, but like don't pretend that you're different and then
Yeah.
turn around and do the same thing. That bothered me.
Yeah. It's like, no, babe, I've changed.
Yeah, it's like it's just fake deep.
Yeah.
It's just fake deep. Overall though, it's a pretty good record.
Yeah.
I liked it.
I think if you're gonna listen to it, honestly, listen to the singles.
Yeah.
Those are, they were kind of a shame to make singles because they are such highlights of the album. It almost, when I went into it, I'll say, listen to Melt Session 1, listen to Walkin', listen to Troubles.
Worst Comes to
and
Worst.
Listen to Zasuichi.
I really like Worst Comes to Worst also. I forgot to shout that one out, but that beat sounds like it has serious like early Gorillaz vibes.
Yeah.
I would fucking kill to hear Denzel Curry on a Gorillaz song. That would be so good.
Yeah. So those are, I would say those are the ones that are standouts. I don't know that you really have to listen to the whole thing, but if those ones really, really grab you and you really find yourself wanting more, it can't hurt. See if anything grabs you more than it grabbed us.
The album is good overall. Like
definitely.
if you listen through it, it's very like if you just want to listen to like a good rap album, this is a good rap album.
Yeah, definitely.
It's just if you're like listening a little closer, the cracks kind of start to show.
Yeah.
I still think the singles are some of the best songs of the year though. Like,
Definitely.
Zatoichi goes so fucking hard.
Yeah. So speaking of songs that are good that the cracks start to show, let's talk about Destroyer.
Oh, okay,
Labyrinthitis.
Labyrinthitis. I would say the cracks start to show in his mental state. He sounds like a fucking insane person on this album.
So I will say I had history with Destroyer that I didn't really know that I had, which is that I listened to his album Kaput for an album exchange weeks ago.
Into it, yes,
Months ago. I thought it was boring as all hell.
Wow, you're fucked up and evil.
Yeah, I thought it was very boring.
Wow.
I listened to it, completely passed me by. That was one of the only albums that I've gotten for exchange that I thought was very mid and I was not happy with.
Destroyer is one of my favorite artists of all time.
I'm sorry.
Kaput is one of my favorite albums ever.
Yeah, I did not love it. So when I went into this, I was like, when I was listening to it, I was like, there's no fucking way this is the same person.
Yeah, this is different.
It's very different.
This is different.
I gotta say, I was very thrilled by this.
Oh yeah, you were into it?
I loved it.
Yeah, it was great.
I gotta say it was kind of front loaded for me.
I'd agree.
My favorite tracks off rip were Suffer.
Suffer is great.
June.
Oh man.
I'm really sad. We were gonna cover that for singles like a couple weeks ago, and we just chose not to.
Yeah.
But I wish we had, because I wish I had hype for this album. It was a great surprise though.
That outro on June is insane. He's never done anything like that before.
I liked the title track a lot. And I loved It Takes a Thief.
It Takes a Thief was my favorite song on the album.
It is so weird.
It is the campiest song Destroyer has maybe ever done, which is saying something. That is saying something.
Okay, so on that song, there's this really weird percussive element.
They have like a God, what's the fucking name of it? It's like the it's like a ridged stick, and you have a flat stick, and you zip.
Yeah. Like the little frogs that you can buy that have the stick in the mouth and they're wood, and you can just run it along the spine.
Yep.
And it makes like the little like brrrr song.
It's so good.
It's a really
so
good sample.
Funny.
So that one, the production difference too on that part, the mixing is so weird on that song.
Yeah, it's bizarre.
It's really fun.
That makes more sense when you learn that this album was recorded entirely separate. Nobody was in the same location at all for this one.
So that's really interesting to know about this. It is a weird eclectic combo of genre influences.
Yeah,
it's got new wave, like chamber pop, post rock, and ambient,
straight
and funk
too.
Yeah, huge funk.
This like he's been obsessed with the 70s and 80s for a couple records now, but this one is like there's also like disco.
Yeah,
there's disco songs in this album. Dan Behar doing disco.
Yeah.
It's much more willing to like go hard than his past like 4 albums have been.
I'm really sick of 80s revival, but this one I am not. I did not like. It doesn't feel the same.
I think the 80s revival has so much more material left in the tank. People are just so willing to do the easy thing.
Exactly.
Dan Behar will never do the easy thing except on Ken. I don't know why he did the easy thing on Ken. Fuck that album. Yeah, Destroyer is one of my favorite bands ever. they have like 15 albums, and I at least like all of them except Ken. Fuck Ken.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, this is just such a right turn. It's such a hard left turn. I don't know. Suffer is amazing. June, a snow angel is a fucking idiot somebody made.
That is a batshit lyric.
A fucking idiot made by somebody.
It's so funny.
It's so good.
I heard that lyric and I laughed out loud. I was like, this is great.
He usually like has a point on his albums. He's just saying shit on this one.
This is so stream of consciousness.
He's just saying shit.
It's so funny. June is. I can't get over how much I love that song.
Song's so good. The
It's so
outro
good.
is fucking crazy.
Yeah.
So it like pivots into like pretty straight like 80s synth funk.
Yeah.
And then he just starts like spoken word stream of consciousness.
Yeah.
And then they start like fucking up his voice and
Yeah.
like making him skip and lowering it and like making the pitch distort. It's crazy.
It's really good.
He's never done anything like that before.
Yeah.
I also liked Eat the Wine, Drink the Bread.
Yeah. That was another one I really
which
liked.
it didn't agree with me as a single, but I liked like the dance influences more in context of the record.
It's a nice like break kind of in the album. It's a little bit slower.
Yeah.
I thought that it was interesting to start the album with like a 6-minute, 7-minute.
That was the only song I didn't like on the whole album.
ambient album song basically.
I mean, it's ambient pop. Like it's going.
Yeah, but like
it's,
in the context of
Yeah,
like
yeah,
the
yeah.
rest of the album, it is by far the most ambient.
That's the other thing. Though.
Other than the States,
Other than. Oh yeah.
which is
the really
funny
long one.
enough. They're the exact same length,
Oh, that's funny.
but the States feels so much longer.
yeah,
I hated that song.
I didn't care one way or the other about it.
It was I didn't mind the first one. I thought that it was an okay intro. I didn't think much about it, but the States like actively bothered me. I was like, please be over sooner.
Where would you have put "It's in Your Heart Now" on the rest of the album? Like, where else would you have stuck that? Because I don't want to breathe on this album. Like, I don't want to breathe.
Yeah,
really.
I think it would have been better if it was more breakneck. I also thought that the closer didn't really do a whole lot for me.
Which one was that?
It was just like 2 minutes of like folky.
Oh yeah, that
Outro.
one was fine.
I was like, this is. It was kind of a letdown. I wish that there was a little bit more of a grand exit.
I'll also say Dan Behar knows how to write a folk song. Like the first like 6 Destroyer albums are like folk rock
Yeah.
songs, and this is just not. It's not that good.
It was just not like it was a letdown for the end of the album, especially coming directly off the heels of the States.
Off of the States, and before that was "It Takes a Thief," which
Yeah.
is like.
I was like, what for It Takes a Thief to like peter off into the States. I was like, that's an awful track listing choice.
It Takes a Thief fucks so hard.
It
though.
does. It
I
fucks immensely.
I cannot say enough good things about that
It
song. I
fucks
was
expeditiously, I will say.
grooving.
Yeah.
Absolutely grooving.
I was listening to it on the way to Boathouse, and I was like walking in time with it. I was like, oh my god.
that song is probably hilarious live.
Oh my
which,
god!
like,
Imagine.
I don't like a song you're listening to that you're like really into. You don't really say that a song is like, oh, this would be really funny live.
Yeah.
But that song
It would be
fucking
funny.
hilarious.
I'd love to see somebody off to the side.
Some motherfucker up on stage with that thing, just like
Yeah.
zip, duck. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, it's so
Yeah.
good.
That was like when I saw Squid, there was the keyboardist in the corner with like so many weird instruments.
Mm-hmm.
He had the triangle, he had a gong, he had a synth board, he had a drum machine, and he
Mm-hmm.
had his keyboard. And he was just like going in a circle, like hitting different things.
When we saw Christine Leshber at Stopover,
Mm-hmm.
the keyboardist just had a fucking triangle dangling off her
best.
their keyboard, and like a jar of almonds
Hell
that
yeah.
she was shaking. It was good.
Yeah, there was the other thing that he was doing is he had a cowbell, and
Of course he did. It's Squid.
yeah, for the cleaner, he was doing the cowbell. I was like delirious with joy at that concert. I was so happy, and I was right at the front. I was directly in front of that man. I
Mr.
made
Squid.
eye contact with him, and I said, "Do it, cowbell boy." he just like looked at me, and I was like, "You heard me. You heard me."
And he was like, "There's this weird fucking girl in the front row telling me to do it."
With the most intense eyes I've seen in my life.
Who paid to be here? Which one of us paid to be here?
Do it, cowbell boy.
I know what I'm doing.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, this album was a ton of fun.
Very
in
great.
some areas and kind of boring in others. So once again, this is another that I would say pick and choose.
I think you can go straight through it. Like, I mean, you'll hit some stinkers, but I think you can just go straight through it because there's
it's
highlights.
not that long either.
No, it's not. It's nice. Which Destroyer records sometimes are very long.
Yeah.
The Kaput is really long.
Kaput was way too long.
I mean, to say nothing of Bay of Pigs, which is 10.5 minutes long right at
Yeah.
the end of the album.
Oh my god,
I love that song, by the way.
I did not.
This is not my favorite record of his. I think my favorite is still Poison Season, which is like kind of like Kaput, but there's an orchestra. It's so good. I love that fucking thing. This one really just like decides to like the last few records were, so you had Ken, which was a total stinker. You had Have We Met, which was pretty good, but it came out right before the pandemic, so I kind of have forgotten about it.
Yeah.
And then before that was, I think, Poison Season, and then Kaput. And those albums all, like, Dan Behar is such a wordy fucking songwriter.
Yeah.
Like, when he writes lyrics, he just crams, like, a million words into every single bar, and he's going to say them however fast it takes to get them all out.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, those albums were kind of leaning into, like, how that can make a song seem, like, stuffy and, like, kind of drunk. This is a very different sort of drunk.
Yeah.
He's, like, out on the dance floor punching people in the face. It's great.
It's really fun.
This is a step up from Have We Met for sure. I hope he can continue on this hot streak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope he continues to be fun, because this is definitely more interesting for me than what I've heard from him before.
You should check out some of his older shit, because Kaput was like a very, like, that was a hard pivot. Like, like before Kaput, nothing in his catalog sounds like that at all.
Yeah.
Like, at all. The popular ones are Street Hawk and Destroyer's Rubies, but my favorite is Thief.
Okay.
That's like a really cool art pop
I
folk
see you
rock
on rateyourmusic.com.
album. Well, I was just looking up the discog.
Yeah.
That's the one thing that this website is good for, is
Yeah.
exhaustive discography, very
Yeah.
complete discographies.
Yeah, so maybe I'll go back and look at him a little bit more, but
He's
this
also
this one was good.
He's also in the New Pornographers, if you like them.
I do not know who that are.
Oh, well, that's
I don't know who that are.
another good band that he's in.
There you go. All right. Next album is Kylo Kish. Is it Kilo or Kylo?
Kylo Kish.
Kylo Kish with American Girl. Did not enjoy this one.
I thought it was fine.
I thought it was aggressively mid.
Yeah, it was fun. It's fun. I like the more left field moments of the album, and I like the concept of it too. I think it's a good.
The concept was cute. It was a little bit loose for me.
Yeah. I said this is a good week for loose concept albums with imperfect execution.
Yeah, this I gotta say, the way that I said it in my review, I guess in my notes, I said this album towed the line between annoying and engaging.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Which kind of it leaned over to the annoying side a little bit more, especially the track "Bloody Future," which made me angry.
I don't even remember that one.
I just don't know why it pissed me off. New Tricks was also bad because it had Vince Staples on it and did not use him at all.
I liked New Tricks.
I thought that
he was just like a hype man.
Yeah, which I don't like ad libs. So having him just as a hype man, I was like, do something else, please.
But what about get off my dick?
That one's a good one.
Yeah,
because he's actually doing something on
He
that.
is doing something. He like Bohemian Rhapsodies. Get off my dick.
Yeah, I also didn't love Super Co-Love.
That one wasn't great.
The ones that I liked were Distractions 3, Spoiled Rotten.
That one was fun.
I liked Choice Cowboy because it just sounded like a Gene Dawson song.
Yep, that's exactly what I wrote.
It has no identity of its own.
I like Choice Cowboy because Gene Dawson does really good, and she does good as like a feature to Gene Dawson.
Exactly. It just feels like a Gene Dawson song. And I didn't mind Intelligent Design.
I put New Tricks on my favorites also, and then the other one I liked was Attention Politician. I just thought that was a fun song.
Yeah.
This is a nice, like, it's a nice return. I'm glad she's back. She's taken a long gap from studio records.
Yeah.
But it's nothing super insane in this lane. I think the culture has kind of moved on without her.
Yeah.
Usually when the songs like kind of kick in, it's pretty satisfying, and her performances are good.
I just think that with like it's veers into noise pop in some areas.
I wish it went harder.
Exactly. I think that it needs to commit more.
Yep.
Because as it is, it's a little wishy-washy.
I agree.
So I wish that it committed more to the noise pop, or if it was more synth pop.
I will also say I am not the biggest fan of the way her vocals are produced on this album.
Yeah.
I have kind of a Shamir issue with it, where they sound like they're in a tin can a little bit,
Yeah.
which is like fine if you go harder in the noise pop direction.
Shamir really starting his own studio in that tin can, inviting other artists to come record with
She
him.
kind of looks like she's wearing the tin can on the cover.
I don't really enjoy the cover.
Yeah, it's kind of nothing. Which is funny because I actually really liked the single cover for New Tricks.
Yeah.
It's very red.
Yeah.
Very, very red.
Yeah.
I thought that was a neat visual direction, and then this comes out, it's just like a picture of her with some ice cream. Like, okay, sure.
Who was your creative director? Find a new one.
My least favorite track was No Apology. It has a nice, like, kind of weekendy beat, but I don't really care about anything she's saying or doing on top of it.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing too, is this is the concept markets this as a very like culturally conscious album. And as we know, I love socially conscious pop and I love like politically motivated pop, but I also did not think that this said nearly as much as it was trying to.
I also did think, this is not like a criticism really of the album, but I thought she was going to be rapping more, because in the past she has had
I wish she was rapping more.
Rap influence projects, and I really like her rap work. Again, like just in terms of what is presented to me, like it's fine, it does its thing, but I think I like her better as a rapper than a singer.
Yeah,
that's about all I have to say about that one.
Pretty
unfortunately,
mid.
It's
not really happy with it. Not really mad at it either way.
If you like Gene Dawson, check out Choice Cowboy. It's a pretty good song.
Yeah, if you like Gene Dawson, listen to Gene Dawson.
So true. So true.
All right, next album up we have is PUP, The Unraveling of PUP the Band.
Yeah, baby! Fuck yeah!
Baby.
This shit goes hard. This shit goes so hard.
See, I will let you gush and then I will do my moment.
I was worried. The singles had me worried, because if you look at Waiting and Matilda and Robot Writes a Love Song, like if you just have those 3 songs and then you have the rest of their discography, this is produced completely different. It is much fuzzier. The vocals are buried a little more. There's a little more influence from other genres, and they're very, very pop. Which, like, pup or pop. They've always been pop.
Yeah.
But, like, there are no moments on this album like Full-Blown Meltdown or what's the fucking song from I don't remember. The really hardcore song from The Dream Is Over. There's no moments like that on this album.
Mm-hmm.
There is no like time signature fuckery like with Bloody Mary Kate and Ashley from Morbid Stuff. There's no like City. The song City, the closer from their last album, is like very weirdly produced and like has a bizarre like ending slam in of all the instruments. There's nothing like that on this album. This is pop front to back, all killer, no filler, just fucking like the sugariest hooks that you've heard in your entire life with like great playing. Those songs make so much more sense in context of the album to me. I was like outside of the context, like going to listen to a PUP song, I was like, oh, well, okay, this isn't really what I go to PUP for.
Yeah.
But as a project, it makes so much more sense to me. Just like, yes, you've thought this through. I was worried you wouldn't, but I'm glad you did.
Yeah. So for me, the issue is just that I have never had much love for PUP. I listened to most of Morbid Stuff in senior year of high school, and it did not hit for me whatsoever.
Sucks to be you, I guess.
I guess so. I mean, I wish it did, because it seems like PUP fans have a good time, evidently. But
I crowd surfed at their live show. It was fucking awesome.
It just did not hit for me. And this one did not hit even further. I did not enjoy it. By the end, I was like really wanting it to be over. I don't know. I didn't love the like anthemic brand of pop punk, like the sort of like the choruses that had like the layered vocals where it's like crowd vocals.
Waiting.
Yeah, I was
here
like
for you.
I was like, that's cheesy. I'm not into that.
No, you're wrong. It's good.
I didn't think. I thought it was quirky.
The lyrics are so funny.
Yeah, it was definitely quirky. I liked the 4 chords like progression. I liked that by the third one he just gives up and slams the piano. That was really funny. Definitely has a lot of personality.
That's the album.
I kind of wish that it had more like funny concept things like that and less just straight pop. Just because I'm kind of past the era where I'm accepting of new pop punk albums. I have my like 2 that I go back to, which are both Fall Out Boy albums.
Okay. Which 2?
I go back to Folie à Deux and Infinity on High.
Nice.
So those are the 2 that I go back to.
Folie à Deux is certainly their best. But,
Infinity on High has some bangers.
My personal favorite is Save Rock and Roll, just because that's how I discovered them.
Oof. I went to that tour.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Nice.
No, I went to the American Beauty, American Psycho tour.
Oof.
Yeah. So
that one's rough.
It was a little tough.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I at this point in my life, I'm just kind of not looking for anything like this. So
It's so funny that like I'm gonna be real. Like this record and PUP in general exist in a completely different sphere from Fall Out Boy in my head. They're just not the same like genre at all.
they
like,
are to me.
It's because like Fall Out Boy is like pop punk. Like Fall Out Boy is like Fall Out Boy is a pop punk band.
Yeah.
To me, PUP are a punk band with the best hooks in the game. Like that's where they land for me. Like Jeff Rosenstock, I feel the same way about. Like he's a punk musician with some sticky ass hooks.
For me, this is it is almost worse to me as a punk album, because it's so not what I go to for punk.
Damn.
We will talk about a punk album that scratched a very good itch for me a little bit later. But when I go to punk, I like hardcore. I don't really like very catchy punk. The catchiest punk that I like really love is Fugazi.
Well, yeah.
Because Fugazi just are legendary.
legendary.
They're legendary for a reason. Like 1, 2, 3 repeater. Like it's just you get the hooks, you know. But part of what I like about Fugazi is the production on those songs is kind of bare in a lot of ways.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the band.
Yeah.
But this has some glistening like embellishment to it. And even the fuzziness on it felt a little artificial to me.
Yeah.
I didn't love the production style on this.
Yeah, that's
it
fair.
It felt, unless the songs click with you, it will be a very middling experience, I'll say.
It is definitely, and if you're a PUP fan,
it's consistent in sound, I think.
Yes, it is the most notable change from their past record. Like besides like the songwriting changes, the production style is very noticeably different.
Yeah. So if you love one of these songs, you're going to love all of them.
Yeah.
But if you're on one of them, you're going to be on all of them.
4 Chords is like, that song is so funny. The first track.
Yeah, I just like those because they were creative.
Yeah.
They felt fun.
The first song. Like
yeah,
the actual
I like
song,
that.
4
I mean, I
Chords.
just liked all of them.
Yeah,
the
they
4
were
chord songs.
They were very funny. Robot Writes a Love Song had to grow on me, but that
was my least favorite.
That one grew on me really hard. I appreciate the usage of the drum machines for that extra bit of robot flavor. I thought that was pretty funny.
Which is kind of stupid to me.
Relentless has Sarah Tudson of Illuminati Hotties on it, and I will take any excuse I can to hear Sarah Tudson's voice because I simp.
Does it give you serotonin?
Yes, I simp for Sarah Tudson. She's so good. The breakout outro to Relentless is like, oh my god, that's like I've just snorted sugar.
Yeah.
I love that so much. Habit is a very weird song for them. That intro is like, it's almost like chiptune. It's weird.
Yeah.
I feel like this song and Robot Writes a Love Song should have switched subject matter.
Yeah.
This one is robotier. And then all I wrote for the closer, Pup the Band Inc. is filing for bankruptcy. All I wrote was holy fuck. That shit goes so hard. That shit goes stupid. When they brought in the brass section, I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Why haven't we done this before? That song had me on a hook. That song had me like I had bitten a hook, literally it was like
you'd consumed a worm and now you were being pulled onto a
literally
boat.
like I was like, oh, tasty, funny punk song. And then they bring in the brass section and I'm like being dragged up through the water to the fishing boat about to be killed. It was great. Yeah, this for me at least rips.
Yeah.
This is battling with Big Thief for my album of the year right now, and I didn't expect it to because I thought from the singles that I wasn't gonna be into it.
Yeah.
But no, this one is stuck fast in my head. This shit is good.
Yeah.
I'll get you into PUP. I'll do it.
I really don't think you will.
I will.
My favorite tracks were the 4 chord series. And my least favorites were Robot Writes a Love Song, Grim Reaping, and Habits.
Grim Reaping was just fine. That's the most like by the numbers PUP song of them.
Yeah. I mean, which if that's like the by the numbers PUP song, it makes sense. I also wouldn't like it because
so many
I
of their
don't
songs
like,
aren't by the numbers.
Because I don't like most of their songs.
Well, that hurts me, Megan.
I'm sorry.
I'm so hurt.
Yeah, they're just not a band that I've ever really gotten. And I've tried. I really have. I've listened to Morbid stuff, I think like I've started it, I think like 4 times.
I also want to shout out Totally Fine real quick, just because that song I would almost call twee. It's fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
He's like spiraling into self-destruction.
Yeah.
And he's like so happy about it. It's
Yeah.
great. But yeah, if you don't like Morbid stuff, maybe you would like The Dream Is Over, because that one is much more You know what? No, I feel like if you're going to like one, you would like Morbid Stuff because they do wackier stuff on Morbid Stuff.
I'm just not willing to try anymore.
Sag.
There are other artists that I would like to force myself to get into, you know?
Big Sag.
Yeah. All right. Is that all?
Yeah, that's all I got to say.
Cool.
You should listen to this, though.
Give it a try. You might be me. You might be Sophie. Depends. It's evidently polarizing.
Our vibe on this one is just the needle is like wobbling back and forth.
Yeah. Seismogram is going crazy.
Yeah, we're going nuts.
Next album is
Niechęć. Yes.
Niechęć. I'm sorry, Marcin. Sorry. I'm just going bad on my Polish. So this is
Pole's molding right now.
Yeah. So Niechęć, Unsubscribe, which is a jazz band. Shout out to my friend Marcin for getting me into it. He said he would mauled and cry if I didn't shout him out.
I was right. Pole's molding.
Yeah.
Before I say anything else about this album, this is one of the worst album covers I've ever seen in my entire life.
It's very bad.
It is not good.
It's not relevant to the
No,
the
it has
album
nothing
at all.
to do with the rest of the record. I don't know why it's called Unsubscribe.
Neither
either.
do I.
Just,
it's like I went into it and I was like, this is gonna be cheesy as all get out. And then I
no,
was
it's
like,
just very
what?
not the imagery is not hitting for me.
No.
It's like a panda with some trees.
It's just whack. It's weird.
It's like inked out.
Please hire me to do your album cover, Niechęć. I will do you better.
You know what this reminds me of is the episode of Avatar. Have you seen Avatar: The Last Airbender?
Yeah, like 4 times.
Okay, yeah. I thought I remembered you saying you hadn't. I didn't remember who
No,
that
I
was.
have.
Good. We can keep hosting this podcast
Yeah,
together.
The forest demon.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like Heibai sitting in in the burnt out forest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for context on Niechęć. Niechęć. I'm sorry, Niechęć. I'm bad.
You'll be my Niechęćman before this is over.
Okay, Niechęć. Yes. So my background for Niechęć is that they have done. This is their 3rd album. They've been making shit since like 2013, I think. But I have only heard their 2017 album, or is it 2019? 20-something, which is called Self-Titled. It is called Self-Titled. It's not a self-titled album, but it's called Self-Titled.
That's hilarious.
It's very funny.
That's so funny, especially because there is also a song on this album called Niechęć for no reason.
Which is funny.
Yeah, it is funny.
So
I appreciate that. That's quirky.
They used to do stuff that's more dissonant. Like Self-Titled opens with probably one of the craziest jazz songs I've heard in my life.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like 4 songs in one, and yet somehow it works. There's a lot of really screechy, experimental sax tones on the last one. Not as much piano, more drum. So this is a really wild 180. Like that album is much more dense, more fast paced. It does have some moments of like openness in it, but that openness is what they honed in on this one.
That really surprises me to hear because that was kind of my issue with this album. I will fully admit that I am not
a jazz stan.
Not well versed in. I'm not a jazz stan. I'm totally open to it. I'm just not. I don't have a very big jazz vocabulary.
Yeah.
But I will say, I think even if I knew jazz, I still wouldn't like this very much.
Yeah.
It surprises me that you say the sax tones are more experimental on the last record because I found the sax on this album really flavorless, which I was sad about because, like,
yeah, it's a letdown.
I love the saxophone.
Yeah,
it's like the best instrument.
This one definitely hones further in on piano jazz.
Yes,
hugely piano jazz influenced album. I would say mostly piano and ambient. There's a lot of open space on this album.
If I could, I would say this is space jazz. That's what I got. Like when I was
I'm gonna
listening
look
to
up
this,
exactly what variety of jazz it's categorized as.
I think it just said jazz fusion because there's like some indie rock influence on here too. Like there's guitars on this. At its best, it's so like this is gonna be what fucking everybody who listens to this album says. But at its best, it like the piano, saxophone, guitar interplay is a little Black Country New Road. Like it is at times. It sounds like the parts where piano and guitar and sax all sync up on Chaos Space Marine is specifically what I was thinking of.
Yeah, or maybe like Mark's theme with like the quietness of it.
Yeah.
But this is one that I listened to a couple times because the first time I was baffled by it and I didn't know how to feel about it.
because it's so different. I will say you might get a kick out of
what you were
self-titled.
describing of the other album sounded like something I would be more
super,
into.
super fun album.
The fact that you were saying the drums were like denser on that one, I was like,
way denser.
Yeah, I thought the drumming on this album was like actively bad. Like it was actively taking me out of it.
Yeah, see, the thing is that I appreciated the little moments of like dissonance and like more punchiness that we got on this, only because it reminded me of self-titled. I think that this does kind of revel in that space that it creates for itself, and if you want an album that you can just kind of zone out to, then go for it. But when I go to jazz, specifically like jazz fusion stuff like this, I want to be grabbed. Like, I want my jazz to grab me by the balls and take me for a ride. Like, that is what I like in jazz. So something like this that's a little bit cooler and more piano focused, normally I would go to Japanese jazz for that. I would not go to Polish jazz for that. So
I do think it's funny that my first like real jazz experience is 5 white guys from Poland. That's funny.
Yeah. It's Polish jazz has its own, they all have their own scenes. But in my opinion, piano jazz is best in Japan. Like Ryo Fukui, Scenery, great piano jazz album. And even I will say there's albums that have done this sort of division between experimentation and slower moments better. Most notably would be Freeform Jazz by Uyama Hiroto, which is a 2019 experimental jazz record. Very good. First half is lo-fi like hip-hop beats to chill/study to, and the second half is insane experimental.
Denzel Curry should hit this person up.
They should. So yeah, I just think that this is doing things that I would go to different albums for before I would go to this one.
Yeah.
Overall not huge on it.
Yeah, I don't have a lot of I don't have a lot of jazz experience. I wouldn't have other albums I could point to be like, yeah, this does this better or this does this better.
Yeah.
But like just like my musical knowledge in general
And taste.
Every song on here is going for the exact same emotional beat.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a couple different ones. I appreciate Epilogue going for something different.
Yeah. And I thought Clouds did something different.
Yeah, it did.
That one really embraced the float.
I liked my 2 favorite tracks were Slang, which is the first track. I've translated all the track titles into English because they are Polish, and I am going to mangle them.
Go figure.
I will
Polish.
I will learn niechęć, but I am very afraid to just mangle the rest of these words, especially if I'm like referring to them quickly.
Yeah.
So I've translated the track titles into English. So the first track, Slang, was one of my favorites. Like I really like the piano like riffing on that one. It felt like I was watching like some totally futile like space battle.
Yeah.
Or like watching someone fail at something they worked like that's like just outside their clutches.
Yeah.
And I really liked the song Reluctance. With niechęć, that's the name of the band also. The piano, what you were saying about the dissonance, the piano on this song, the piano is the piano's doing everything for this album.
This is a piano album.
The sax and the drums like exist, but they're
behind a dense wall of fog.
They're also like non-entities to me. Like I really hated the drumming on this album. I found it so flavorless. But like the piano on niechęć, the song, feels like it has nothing to do with the rest of the track on purpose. Like it's like the beat is kind of ambling and it feels like the piano is like wrestling it, like trying to break free out of it. And the sax was providing like a nice counter melody to it as well.
Yeah.
Nice string work on that one too.
Yeah.
That was definitely my favorite song. I found Body fun keyboard playing that felt like it had nothing to do with the rest of the song in a bad way.
Yeah.
Like you've just thrown this shit on top of here with no regard for the rest of what the song sounds like.
Yeah.
And then Prague, that one is so stiff.
Yeah.
It feels
that was one I didn't like.
Huge but very stiff.
Yeah, this album, the part of the issue for me is that my opinion on these songs will change every single time I listen to the album. Like I'll appreciate one part of it, and then the next time I listen to it, I'll be like, ugh, I don't like that at all. So it's very wishy-washy for
Yeah.
me, and
Yeah.
I would go to more consistent albums before I would go to this. So if I'll cap this off by giving a couple recommendations. First of all, their last album, self-titled, great album. It tore me to shreds the first time I heard it. It goes hard. If you are interested in piano jazz and you want something cool jazz that has more flavor, Scenery, Ryo Fukui's good. Or if you want something that's a little bit more down tempo, Andrew Wasilak, Waz, it's Polish again. I can't pronounce that. I'll put it in the. I'll give it to Sophie to put in the playlist.
Throw it in the playlist.
But that's better. So
I definitely feel like I need to brush up on my like jazz basics before I go into any of that. Like I need to listen to Miles Davis and everything.
Go directly to Bitches Brew.
I will go directly to Bitches Brew. I don't care.
That one's the most insane one.
I'll do
that's
it.
why I say that.
I don't give a fuck.
It's a fantastic album.
I think I will probably like it better than I like this.
I'm a jazz person. I like jazz a lot.
I really want to be a jazz person. I'm working on myself.
Jazz has been a very slowly developed love for me. It's been steeping, but I love it. So yeah, I'll get you to listen to.
Yeah, I definitely think I have the capability to get into to be like a jazz head, like a very like up on it person. But I'm just not there at all.
I'll go to Martian and ask for more because he likes free jazz,
Mm-hmm.
and that's just fun.
Yeah,
so I can go to that.
Wild.
Yeah. So, album meh.
But our final record of the
is
evening,
one I feel so strongly.
It is
about.
not. It is not meh at all.
Soul Glow, Diaspora Problems.
God damn.
This is the heaviest punk I've heard in so long.
God damn.
This is like noise punk euphoria. Oh my god. And it has like some experimental rap cuts.
I will say, I like hardcore punk more in theory than in practice. Because like, I think I said this about Ghost last week, but I think hardcore punk can be a very easy genre to phone in.
Yeah.
And I will also say that I understand that shitty punk bands are a vital part of the culture.
Yep.
Like I mean that with 100% sincerity. Like,
it is, yeah.
If your punk band sucks, you're better than me because you're in
peak
a band.
Punk, yeah.
But at the same time, like I want to go see a shitty punk band live. I don't really want to listen to a shitty punk band's record.
Yeah.
Like there's hardcore bands I love, but it's a genre that can have so much character potentially and then often doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
That's not this album.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
This album has ample teeth. This album is a shark. It has so many teeth. It's shedding them and giving them to you. It's crazy.
It's not giving them to you. It is throwing them at you.
It's biting you and leaving them in you.
Yeah. The amount of personality on every inch of this
track,
thing
yeah.
is so good. Like the guitar playing is so distinctive. The drumming is insane. This guy is fucking playing
on
his
crack
ass
cocaine.
off. King.
Yes.
I wish I knew his name, but you are a king.
Yeah.
And the biggest shout out to vocalist Jordan Pierce.
Oh my
who
god.
I hope to God is sucking on a lozenge right now.
Yes.
Because your throat must be
shredded.
just demolished.
I will say, on the note of the vocals, I think that this is going to be weird to say, this album, as far as noise punk and as far as hardcore punk, is kind of approachable because it's not just screamo. It has these more digestible portions of like sang vocals, rapping, obviously screaming. He's a great screamer.
He has an awesome scream.
Yeah, and I'm big into screams, so that was a big one.
He's
for
got
me.
a really like simultaneously nasal and throaty scream. Like there's a lot of phlegm in that scream.
It's good. And the variety on the instrumental, I think, is a lot stronger than a lot of hardcore acts.
Yes.
Like a lot of hardcore tends to fall into the same, just like this is fast, this is good.
If you're into Fucked Up, if you're into Dose Your Dreams by Fucked Up, this album will make you shit yourself.
Yeah.
Like it's hardcore done like more elastic and with no regards for genre. It's so good.
Yeah.
It's so good.
This is the peak of, I think, punk, where it is punk in the sense that it does not care about being punk. It's doing whatever the fuck it wants. Like I said, there is like just a straight up like experimental rap cut.
There's two.
Yeah, there's two.
Fucking McKinley Dixon is on this. McKinley Dixon, his album last year, This Is For My Mama and Everyone Who Looked Like Her. Shit is so good.
Yeah.
So good.
I think that, I mean, first of all, I had no least favorite tracks. Whole thing, all killer, no filler, in my humble opinion.
I wasn't huge on Jump or Get Jumped.
Oh, that's one of my favorites.
I heard that one as a single. I just found it a little by the numbers of them because I also love Songs to Yeet at the Sun. This Songs to Yeet at the Sun is good. This is like huge ratchet.
Yeah.
Jump or Get Jumped, I just found it kind of by the numbers for them. And then John Jay has some neat passages, but I found the features kind of like momentum killing. They just weren't great.
Nothing on this really bothered me. I was on it the whole way.
Yeah. Besides those two tracks, there is nothing.
Yeah.
Like, skip those two, in my opinion, and this is a like near perfect punk album. This shit is so good.
My favorites were Gold Chain Punk, Who Gonna Beat Yo Ass.
So good.
Who Gonna Beat My Ass.
Who Gonna Beat My Ass.
Yeah. Coming Correct is Cheaper.
That song's so funny.
It's so funny.
They really use it like, yeah, woo,
yeah.
yeah. Woo! From like every dance song. It's so good.
Funny. Coming Correct is Cheaper. Fucked Up If True.
But on Coming Correct is Cheaper, he is going fucking nuts on this one vocally. He also has a moment where he literally goes like, yeah. Like, he sounds like Lil Jon.
Yeah,
it
man.
Is awesome. It's so good.
Like I said, the vocals on this have so much personality.
Like oozing out of everything he says.
And so does every instrument.
The vocals, so the lyrics on this album are amazing is the
So
other
good,
thing.
yeah.
Like every inch of this record is packed with like not only like fucking awesome political statements, but like killer hilarious one-liners, like out there references. There's a line on this hardcore punk album where he references TJX6, the scam rapper. Like brilliant, like literally, like genuinely brilliant. Like there is nothing else like this right now.
That's something I love about this too, is no matter what part of music you love, whether you love lyrics, whether you love production, whether you love instrumentals, whether you love a certain instrument, there is something on here that will engage you beyond belief and you will be able to latch on to.
I really do mean when I say a lot of the lyrics are like beautiful,
really,
and, like,
really
emotionally potent and like so vitriolic.
Yeah.
And you can't tell what the fuck he's saying.
No, he's just screaming.
And then he like writes these beautiful lyrics and then like shrieks them at the top of his lungs.
In that sense, reminds me a lot of Ice Age.
Yeah.
Where he's just drawling out these lyrics. You have no fucking clue what he's saying, and you look and it's like the most flowery, beautiful, poetic shit you've heard in your life.
And yeah, man, it's just so. This record is so good.
Yeah.
Thumbsucker.
Yeah.
The brass on Thumbsucker. This song whips ass.
Yeah.
Like this. It's like borderline rapping delivery.
This
He's going
slaps
so
wicked
fast.
hot penis. I will say that.
This song has some like Rage energy. Obviously, these guys are influenced by Rage, like of course.
Yeah.
But these songs, it has like Rage if Rage was like angular as fuck and had some borderline ska sections.
Yeah.
Like that. Thumbsucker is probably my favorite. That song goes really, really hard. Driponomics is the rap song on here.
Good.
The fact
so good.
it just slips right in the track list is the other thing. Like it doesn't feel out of place.
No,
at
not
all.
at all.
That's the one he references TJX6 on. That made me laugh. 5 Years in My Family. The break, where he just starts like fucking ranting. The breakdown in the middle of this that leads into like the faster passage is fucking crazy. The drum presence on this song. Oh, also my favorite. That's my favorite lyrical moment on the record. Is that one's really, really personal and poetic and lovely. We Want's Revenge is the most intense moment on the record.
Yeah.
The welcome, like the vocal fill.
Yeah.
And then the fucking slap bass on the outro.
Yeah. Yeah. I will say the other ones that I would shout out are Jump or Get Jumped. I liked that one a lot.
I didn't hate it at all. It's not a bad song.
The Things I Carry. I like that one
one's
too.
really good.
And I personally really enjoyed John Jay. I also thought it was kind of funny that there's two songs that go like that are like experimental and weird that are John something.
Yeah.
You got John 50, John L by
Black
Midi, and also John J now by Soul Glow.
Don't forget about John Jingleheimer Schmidt.
There
His name is my
go.
name too.
Yeah. So this is fucking incredible overall.
I will also say I loved God Bless Y'all real good.
Yeah.
That one switches between hardcore punk and like experimental hip hop.
Yeah.
And it fucking smacks the whole thing. I have so many. I took like 15 genius screenshots here of just like god tier lyrics from this thing. May I read some selections?
You may.
All right. Welcome, welcome. Will you accept their crumbs or shed your liberalism and claim your freedom?
Hell yeah.
Many N-words. Many minds can get through all 10 years of their 20s with no time, get a bullshit degree in a family, and trauma still beating them within an inch of their life. Take 10 hood ends, put them in a line, each be a genius off their own might. That line, that's a fucking awesome line.
Yeah.
That was so cool. Fuck, I look like wearing emotions like an ankle weight or ball and chain and waiting in the 4-year blue tide just to have a side. What faith? We displaced and I never asked to participate in this mistake, but I slap on a face like a blank slate as real estate for a projection field day. I'm sorry that my personal memories don't predicate the greatness of the state. I guess I just wasn't raised that way. God damn. There's there's so many bits on this record where he's like, I mean, it's like an openly Marxist record, and he's talking about like distributing Marxist theory, and like that was like how he like first got into politics. I want my motherfucking childhood back. Intuition, not nationalism, tells me I'm under attack. When my sister and me finally got picked up by my dad, this is 9/11, like on the day of 9/11. He showed us on DC on TV and talked to us while we sat. He said, "This is what people do to each other. This is what people do. I was raised on love for the other, but that's not the language that the world want to use. So we be switching the shoes." Ostensibly to steel-toe boots. It's fucking
so good.
Man, I like. Obviously, more like hyper leftist punk like this exists.
Yeah,
but this is the highest profile release of something this like viciously unforgiving of like white liberalism in so long. This is so like I feel like I've been smacked in the face and like refreshed. It's so good.
Yeah,
this album fucking rules.
Yeah,
I can't say enough good things about it.
Once again, this was a weirdly good week for me to re-listen to Veteran by JPEG Mafia.
Yep,
because he is
there's some
also,
similar energy there.
For
sure.
The same kind of just actual hatred for American politics.
Zero tolerance.
No, so this was a very engaging listen. Loved it.
Yeah,
absolutely loved every second of it.
100%. Like full-heartedly recommend this one. This is fighting for my second favorite album of the year now.
For
it's
sure.
So good.
So fucking good. This is one that I want to learn every single lyric to.
Yeah,
so
I would love to scream this shit at a show.
Yeah.
That would be so good. You're never going to learn every word, though.
No.
He says so many words on this album.
So many words. I'll do my very, very best. Yeah, so I recommend that wholeheartedly.
Ugh, it's so good. Was I supposed to believe the country that killed Dr. King and stay pledging allegiance to a symbol of hate every morning? This shit is so basic, it's high-key embarrassing and still too much for most people to receive. So we gonna always vote in false elections and accept each result and its effects as though people were powerless? Do you feel supportive care? How do you wake up every day? What enforced your belief that you can vote their power away?
Whoa! Personal call out,
dude,
to everybody.
Oh my God, man, I can't name a band. Like, I wish I could name a band that's saying this shit on record right now, but I can't. I wish I could. Someone point me in the direction of more shit like this.
Please
it's so
do.
Good.
Please tweet us at
me.
Oh my God, yeah. So that's basically. This album is just us gushing.
It's so good.
So good. I want to shout out the female experimental vocalist on
what was her name?
Her name is Bearcat. Yeah. She ate.
Yeah, she did really good.
She did a great job. I want to hear more female like industrial experimental rap artists like that. Once again, if you know more people like that, please hit us up. So this one was remarkable.
Yeah, this was really good.
Yeah.
Cannot recommend enough.
Mm-hmm. All right, now we can move on to our singles.
Let's pivot.
I
love pivoting. Rotates
too.
in place.
Yeah. So first single is Ezra Furman, Book of Our Names.
2 for 2.
2 for 2.
She's 2 for 2.
I cannot wait for whatever project this is coming off of.
I want this to be announced so bad because this is the follow-up to Transangelic Exodus that I wanted.
Yeah.
Like, all love for 12 Nudes, but it's just not my favorite thing she's done. And this is like, it's like, oh my God, this is why I fell in love with you.
Yeah.
She's killing it. She
Yeah.
is destroying it. Unstoppable. This song's so good.
Yeah, this song is really good. I still haven't gotten the chance to listen to Transangelic
I
Exodus.
played a song from it on my broadcast today.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Psalm 151.
But I've become a real fan of hers ever since these two
So
singles.
like all it takes is one song.
They're just so good.
All it takes is one song.
She is the real motherfucker.
She is the real motherfucker.
Yeah, and so I'm very excited, especially because they've had similar covers for both. They're both like purple.
Oh yeah, both songs have. Yep.
Definitely coming off.
We
of
are
a
trending
project.
towards something.
Yes, we are.
We're headed in that direction.
Yeah. So
At least we better be.
we fucking hope so.
Miss Furman,
Miss Furman,
the ball is in your court.
please. Next artist is Lady Lamb with Wolves of My Want.
I was into this.
So I have context for Lady Lamb. Her album from 2015, After, I really enjoyed. It's quirky, it's cute.
Yeah, I've never heard of this artist before, but this was nice.
Yeah, so this one, I really liked the instrumental on it.
Yeah, it's
She
super
did
good.
some really cool stuff with it, and
Yep.
I liked the lyrics a lot. Her lyrical style has always been really interesting to me because it's very stream of consciousness and very open.
Mhm.
It's just moments. This reminds me of the really good moments off of After.
Yeah.
Like the song Batter, or like Vina Cava, or Spat Out Spit. Those are the three that I think stand out from that album. And this one reminds me a lot of a mixture of Batter and Spat Out Spit, where it's very sparse in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
And it's a slow build.
It is sparse, but it gets there.
It's
like,
sparse, but like what is there is really rich.
Yeah. Yeah, like I wouldn't. You're right. But the word, you're right. It's rich. That's the best way to put it. Because I wouldn't have said sparse until you said that.
Yeah.
But there's not many things going on the song, but the sound is so warm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It has like an almost, to bring it back to the man from last week, it almost has early Andrew Bird energy. Like very early Andrew Bird.
I could see that.
Like Weather Systems.
Yeah.
I'm plugging that. Love that album. Where there's not a whole lot like going on. Like there's
in the mix. There's not
yeah,
many elements.
there's not many elements to it, but what is there is doing a lot of really interesting things.
Yeah.
So this is the first single of hers or the first song of hers that's new that I've heard since I listened to After in like 2016.
Damn. Has she had a record since then, or is it?
Yeah, I should too. I just haven't listened to them.
Wow. You're sleeping.
I have been, but this is
I've never heard of her. What's your excuse?
I just forgot she existed, honestly.
Wow. Fucked up if true.
Very fucked up. But yeah, this is a great single. I'm really excited to see what this comes off of.
Yeah,
because she's been releasing new ones for a couple months now, so I'm hoping for an album.
I was very into this. I'm also psyched.
Next is Nordista Freeze with Secret.
We saw this live.
We did.
I wasn't expecting
Hyperpop Freeze is here.
Yes. Auto-tune Freeze has arrived. The single cover for this is so funny.
It's very funny.
Him like covered in emojis. It's really good.
He's like doing a little kissy face.
Yeah, it's really good.
Very funny.
Song's pretty good.
I liked it.
Yeah. Not my favorite thing he's ever done, but it's good.
Yeah. Hyperpop is one of those things where lyrics don't matter to me.
Yeah.
Which
this is also very hyperpop pastiche.
Yeah.
Like it's not really going for full bore 100 gags. Like that's not what you're getting.
No.
It's like he's goofing a little bit.
It's you can definitely see where he's trending.
Yeah.
Which I'm excited to see how wacky he'll get with it.
I need that Quiplash song, bro. I need it now.
I need it. Yeah. So I I'm just excited to see how weird he gets with it. And I do actually think his voice suits autotune really nicely.
I do as well. Yeah, no, he has a nice like R&B voice when he wants to.
Yeah.
Yeah. He did that a couple times on his last record.
Yeah. But I think that this is a fun way for him to be trending. And I thought that there were a couple of moments that were a little like subtle that I didn't expect.
Yeah.
Like
same.
there was when he said like nightmare. And there was like a weird like boiner like in the background where it was like kind of gave it like that ominous tone. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, no, this
Nice.
was a good song. I'm not expecting the album to sound like this.
No.
But it's a funny choice of single for sure.
Yeah.
And it does get me excited. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hoping for good things.
Let's go Freeze.
Big shouts.
Big ups to Freeze.
Yeah. Presses Cast officially endorses Nordista Freeze.
Yum check.
Yum check. God damn it. Next is another stopover artist, Shotgun by Soccer Mommy.
It's okay.
This one really reinforced my middling opinion on Soccer Mommy.
No, this song's kind of mid.
Yeah, I think that Soccer Mommy is an artist who really benefits from recording.
Yeah.
Because I think that her production is important to her sound. So I think that live, sometimes things sound a little samey.
Have you heard Romcom 2004?
No.
Okay, that song's insane. that's almost like fucking hyper pop Soccer Mommy.
Okay.
It's like it goes in and out of like really, really, really distorted, like digitally distorted.
Yeah.
Where like you can barely tell what's going on in the instrumental. And I love that song. It's one of my favorite songs by her. And I was hoping this would continue that direction.
Yeah.
And it did not. And it almost sounds more like stuff from her first album.
Yeah.
Which is great. I like that album.
Mm-hmm.
But you did that already.
Yeah.
This is nothing she hasn't done before.
Yeah.
And I understand why you might pick that as the first single. But I'm hoping that it gets picked up from here, like the album cycle moves a little bit more than this, because like this song is fine. I don't hate it. I actually even like it, but it's just nothing like amazing.
Nothing
for
special.
her.
No big growth, it seems.
No, especially because the first single for Color Theory, which is an amazing record in my opinion, was Circle the Drain, which is one of her best songs ever. Like went full early 2000s Alanis Morissette, like all like early 2000s girl pop.
Yeah.
Girl pop, like fucking not girl pop. You know what I mean? Like female singer songwriter pop on the radio.
You know, girl pop.
No, because when I say girl pop, it's like Britney Spears. That's not what I mean.
Yeah, no, I'm messing with you.
No shade to Britney Spears. But yeah, just not. It didn't get me excited for the new record.
Yeah, nor me.
But I hope she will pick it up from here. I trust her. Yeah. I will say I really like the art direction for this coming record. That is a very cool aesthetic, like projecting cells and shit on her. That's a very neat cover. I like it.
Yeah. So next is Street Sects with History is Everyone's Fuck.
This song goes hard.
It really does.
This song goes hard.
So this is a good kick in the ass for me because I've had End Position, their first album, saved for like a year and a half.
Oh,
and I just haven't listened to it.
That album's so good.
Very up my alley, I think. But this was awesome.
Yeah.
Like this was a good the Soul Glow album got me in a mood. Yeah. And this one followed it through.
This is like that but industrial.
Yeah.
Yeah. This
great industrial rock cut.
Oh man. They do not miss. Street Sects don't miss.
No.
They don't.
They're just great. So if you like industrial, if you like hard rock, this is good.
You will like this. If you like really screamy industrial, you'll be into this.
Yeah. And it had nice movement too.
Yeah.
Like it was not screamy for the whole thing.
They do that.
There was just a breakdown.
They do that. They're very like kinetic, I would say is a good word to describe them.
Nice flow.
Yeah.
So yeah. I am a sucker for a good screamy breakdown.
Yes.
Big for me.
Big recommendation for that one.
Next is Sports Team with R Entertainment.
What did you think of this one?
This I got a very immediate comparison.
Yes.
To a couple artists.
Okay.
Which it felt like Parquet Courts.
Yeah, there's a big Parquet Courts on this one.
Meets Gang of Four.
Did you see the album cover for this?
Yeah.
It's really Parquet Courts.
It's
Parquet Courts Wide Awake.
It's very Parquet Courts and it's very Gang of Four, both of those. Mm-hmm. Like just the really flat and also just the color palette.
Yeah.
It was a little risky, I thought, it's
like
that.
Those but British.
Yeah.
Is Gang of Four British?
Yeah.
Yeah, so okay.
Yeah.
It's British Parquet Courts.
Yeah. So it was and Gang of Four are like early post-punk.
Yeah.
Like they're progenitors.
Yeah, I'm familiar. I just forgot if they were British.
Yeah, no, they're British. Yeah, so this I thought it was fine, but it didn't really have much of an identity of its own for me.
I will agree with that because, and this might surprise you, Sports Team made my favorite album of 2020.
Wow.
Yeah. Their record, Deep Down Happy, I think goes hard as fuck. It's like, there is Parquet Courts influence, but part of the wave, like the insane wave of British post-punk that we've been having with really, really strong hooks. And that's me. I mean, British post-punk has been having a moment, and if you take that really strong British post-punk sound and just put some of the most like ear candy hooks imaginable on this, like Camel Crew from that album is like one of my favorite songs of the last 5 years. That shit is so Camel Crew. And Here's the Thing and Kutcher, I just wanted to be your Demi Moore. It's so good.
Yeah, I almost on the vocal end, like on that British post-punk kind of wave, I was getting a little bit of shame
Yeah, he's a little shame. He definitely gets wackier than on this song. This is one of their least wacky songs, which I was surprised by that as the choice for the first single.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like it. I'm not in love with it in the way that I was of pretty much everything on Deep Down Happy.
Yeah. I need more intensity.
Again, I trust they'll pick it up because their previous single, which I don't know if it's going to be on the album, I haven't seen the track list, is called Happy God's Own Country. That shit is so good. Let me read you the lyric from Happy God's Own Country, because he just starts like ranting on the outro to this song, and it is so fucking funny. Economists with bedside manners, tax return, pop killer batches, chipping Norton, doors on latches, 5-bed flat pack, neo-fascist, kitchen surface, polished granite, the market's up in sunny Thanet, incorporating calisthenics, cottage core, and market ethics, the Soho House alt-right aesthetic is taking over. He's like madcap.
Yeah, that's wacky as hell.
Yeah, that song is awesome, and I hope that's the direction that the record goes in, because... that song is a little deranged in ways that Deep Down Happy wasn't.
Yeah.
And I hope they get a little more deranged than that. Also, side note, I was looking at Sports Team's Twitter this morning.
Uh-huh.
They put up a billboard in some English city, I don't know where, that was like their album cover, which is, the new album is called Gulp, with an exclamation point.
Okay.
Which also reminds me of Parquet Courts Wide Awake, because it's got the exclamation point. The album cover is
they're taking a little risky. A little risky business.
I will acknowledge that. But the album cover is like, it's very flat green with a very flat red stick of dynamite that says Gulp on it. And so the billboard was that. It was like a big green billboard with a very large red stick of dynamite on it that says Gulp, and it says like Sports Team, the new album out, whatever. Somebody stole the dynamite. Somebody like went up to the billboard in the middle of the night and removed the dynamite.
Like cut it out?
It's not. It was a physical object that was like adhered. It was like a huge like flat on the back but sort of rounded that said Gulp on it.
Oh my god, somebody just took it?
Somebody took the whole ass thing.
That's hilarious.
It's huge. It's really big.
How did you do that?
I don't know. Sports Team are hilarious. They have a fucking hilarious Twitter account. And they've just been talking about it. Like, how was this accomplished? It's so funny. It's
kind of amazing.
They have like the picture of the thing where like, it's funny because the words Sports Team, new album out whenever, are on the billboard, not.
So it just is a green billboard.
It's just a green billboard that's a Sports Team, the new album out. So I guess all the important information is still there.
Yeah.
Just no Gulp. No Gulp for you.
It's still accomplishing the goal, I guess.
Yeah. Shout out Sports Team.
Shout out Sports Team. Next is It's Raining by Superorganism. This gave me some of the same vibes as Heidi Ho.
I don't think it's that out there.
Just the weird sampling and like.
Well, do you like Superorganism?
Never heard anything about
Okay, well, I love their last album. It's a little like this. Like, they are like wacky sound effects to the max. There's a song on that album. I can't remember what it's called. It goes like wham 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 wham. I'll remember it later. That has car crash sound effects in the song, like repeated, like tire squealing car crash sounds, like as part of the beat.
Yeah.
I do not have that song on my phone because I will freak my shit if it comes on while driving. Like, that is the kind of band they are.
Yeah.
Just sound effects everywhere. Their biggest song is called Something for Your Mind.
I've heard that song.
I love that song. It has like wacky sound effects in it. But I said Something for Your Mind, but I was actually thinking of the Prawn song, which has like splashing sound effects whenever the chorus hits.
Is that like their Flamingo KKB?
All of their songs are Flamingo KKB. That's the thing. They have some Flamingo energy, but I think they are just like also very snappy pop songs in general. If you think Gorillaz aren't wacky enough, you'll like Superorganism.
Yeah. It didn't do a whole
this song
crazy amount for me.
No, this one didn't do a lot for me either. And I actually really disliked Teenager, their last song from this upcoming project.
Looks like this album is not going to do it for you.
It feels like they're trying too hard.
Oh, okay.
Like, the last record was very wacky. I would even say a little deranged. But it was all anchored on really strong songwriting.
Yeah.
And on this, I feel like they are leaning much too hard on the wackiness. And also guests, which I don't think... Superorganism already has like 12 people in it and like 4 people who are on the mic at various times.
Yeah.
You don't need guests.
Yeah.
They can just distract more. Yeah.
Yeah, so not one to
Who
really
was
look at.
who was the guest on this?
I have no fucking clue. I didn't write it down.
Oh, right. Stephen fucking Malkmus
Who?
of Pavement.
Weird.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
That is a weird.
That is a bizarre.
I mean, is It's Raining a play on Crooked Rain, Crooked Rain
No, I don't think so.
by
but
Pavement? Their album.
I doubt it, but
Maybe they were like,
yeah,
Rain
Stephen
song, you want to be on this, dog?
Stephen Malkmus is on this song for
Weird.
some reason. Their last song had Chai on it, which is theoretically a good pick for their sound. But I don't know. It was just annoying.
Yeah.
I'm not excited for this one, which is sad because their self-titled album dominated a lot of my 2018. That was a big one for me.
Yeah. All right. Next up, we have our last and weirdest pick, which is Fallout by Masked Wolf. I'm just gonna let that sit for a minute and Bring Me the Horizon.
Okay.
What?
I will start this off by saying
It's not as bad as I thought it would be.
yes. This
But
is
it still is so bizarre.
This could have gone so much worse than it did.
It could have sucked shit, but it just sucks.
No, I kind of like it.
I don't like it.
This is what I said about Bring Me the Horizon last time we heard them doing some insane pop crossover.
Yeah. What is with them right now?
They don't need to be doing anything that they're doing, but I'm glad they're doing it. If anybody could make me even kind of like Masked Wolf of
Astronaut
in the Ocean fame, if anybody was going to make me sort of like him on a track, I'm glad it was Bring Me the Horizon. Not the direction I would have anticipated that coming from, but
yeah. I don't know. This one, the issue for me is that I feel like it was only resting on the strength of how weird of a concept it is.
I'll agree with you there.
Because the beat on Masked Wolf part bored me to tears. Awful beat. And even Bring Me the Horizons part, which by the way is so brief. It's just the chorus and it's so brief.
They get the outro too.
Yeah, but it still is not enough to be a substantive, I think, addition to Masked Wolf.
Could have been more.
It's kind of boring. I think that of the weird crossovers they've done, I think that Bad Habits has a much more strong impression to it. This one is just sort of okay.
This one is name recognition is
definitely the only reason.
You see this and it's you click on this because you say what?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's the point.
You click on it for that and then you think, okay, cool, and then you never come back.
Yeah, it's
but Bad
fun
Habits,
that
I could see someone being this is my new guilty pleasure song.
I saved that song. I like it. I have no guilt. That song fucks.
Yeah.
I'll say it proud.
There you go.
Hey, Megan, do you have anything else you want to say about this song?
No.
All right. Before we head out, I have one very important question for you.
Yes.
What you know about Rolling Down in the Deep?
Well, when my brain goes numb, you could call it mental freeze.
You could. I could see that. I could see that.
So those are my thoughts.
Yeah. something, put that shit in slow motion.
Yeah.
He doesn't say shit. He's a good boy. He's a Christian boy. He does not.
He's like Blade.
He's like him. This guy.
Oh my
Blade.
God! Imagine him collabing with Blade.
Oh my God.
That would be a collab.
Don't speak that into existence.
I'm manifesting it as
Do
we speak.
not manifest that.
All right.
When will Masked Wolf get drained?
Not soon enough. All right. I think that's gonna do it for
I
this.
think that about does it. I don't have anything
brief
else.
Little episode.
Yeah.
Brief. It's still 2 hours.
But briefer than usual.
Normal. Had some high highs and some middling lows.
Yeah.
Nothing too bad.
Yeah. I'm glad. I said this in our DMs, but I'm glad that we decided to do this because I definitely feel like
these needed the space.
Yes, we could have rushed through some of these records. I'm glad we got to give that amount of time to melt my eyes. We never fucking said the name of that album.
Yeah, we did.
Did we?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. You're smarter than I am.
I'm in charge of saying the names.
Yeah. I'm glad we got time to devote to and break that one down because I think
there's a lot to be said about it.
Yes, it's a good album, and I think in a universe where we did this in the same week as Jack White and Father John Misty, and Daniel Rawson, it could have gotten buried.
Yeah.
We would not have gone as deep into it as we could have.
Yeah.
And there's a lot to talk about, and I feel that way about Destroyer too.
Yeah.
But successful
solid
overall.
week. All right. I think that'll do it for us.
Yeah.
I'm Megan.
I'm Sophie.
Check us out on Twitter. We have a playlist, exhaustive playlist of everything that we speak about, name drop, say a syllable of.
That will be linked in the description of this video, as well as I'll put it on the Twitter. That's @PressesCast if you want to follow us there.
Yep.
Subscribe to SCAD Radio on YouTube.
Yes, please do.
And follow them on SoundCloud.
Yep.
Anything else you want to plug?
Tune into Mood Ring, my live show on scadradio.org.
Yes.
Every 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Thursdays.
Yep.
And
you can tune into my show, Keeping It Clean with DJ Soap, every Wednesday at 5 p.m.
There you go. So I think that's it.
Yeah, I think that'll do us.
Yep.
Megan, I think we're still hot.
But are we still on the presses?
We are. We're on it.
You know what? I'm owning it. We're hot and we're on the presses.
Later.
I got it out the mud and then I did it out the muscle. Maneuver through the game, I put my niggas in the huddle. Now we all just running rounds and fitting pieces to the puzzle. My nigga, hey.
Got some troubles that these drugs can't fix. We must struggle because life's a bitch. Think you happy when your ass get